What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 115 of the Tasty Cast, our weekly podcast where we talk about things, react to things, which random shit. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Quick reminders to download and play Cities Skylines. Cities Skylines. Every time I read that, I'm like, is it Cities Skyline or Skylines? There's many of them. And Farming Simulator 19, both off for free on PlayStation Plus. Make sure to download those, play those. Come back at the end of this month. We're going to talk about those games. We're going to talk about all the micromanaging because that's all you're doing in those games. Although I play a little bit of Farming Simulator, and that game is interesting. We're going to talk about that at some point. And also, make sure to play Pagan Online, which is our game of the month, randomly picked. Next month, Chris gets to pick the game, so he better be thinking about that. It could be any game ever. Keep it secret.
E.T. for the NES.
E.T.? Whew, let's get that emulator going. I ain't fucking trying to find that. Although I guess there's like a bunch of them in a landfill somewhere. It's like an archaeological fucking site.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard of that, Pagan Online is a top-down RPG where you run around, you fight shit, you kill shit, and you get loot. So make sure to play that. Come back at the month as well. Type in hashtag AskTLG on your comment if you want your comment to be considered for TastyCast. We're going to be reading your comments this episode. And if you don't get read and you're like, what the fuck? Why aren't they talking to me? I want them to talk to me, goddammit. Well, type in hashtag AskTLG, and I'll most likely pick you. There's like a 98.3% chance I will pick your comment if you have that on there. We have Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, the podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. And also, we have a Patreon all the way down in the links. If you'd like to support the channel even further, then commenting, sharing, liking, and doing all sorts of weird shit in the comments. Yeah. TastyCast. Let's talk about what we've been playing. My list is pretty big. You guys' list is pretty big?
I think it's like 3 items.
3 items. Chris, how many you got?
Yeah, probably about the same as Chevy.
Let's start with Chris. I'm so curious what you've been playing.
So curious. Well, I've been playing a lot of, 14, as always.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing the normal. Raiding, leveling on alternate classes. Getting into Warrior for some reason. Didn't like it before, and now I'm just kind of all about that Fell Cleave life.
Damn.
I started streaming the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing that. I haven't played in a couple days now, but I'm going to pick it up again here soon.
How many hours in are you?
I think 7.5, 8 hours now.
So you're around pretty much where I'm at, probably, yeah. That's
possible.
About as far as I am, unless you're speed running it.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's a game I'm like savoring.
Yeah, every nook and cranny.
Yeah.
Every nook and cranny. So it's going well. What was the other game I played? Oh, I just totally forgot. I played Farming Simulator 19.
Nice. Apparently that has multiplayer, and apparently it's 6 player. So this month I think it'd be cool if we could get 6 people on the same server.
Okay, we could do that.
I'll say if everyone's available, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, today technically.
Ooh.
Oh, for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like Tuesday, and we're already playing as of today. It's a bamboozle. We got you. I mean, there's 3 of us right here. I know Psycho would be down to play. This is 2 more. I don't think it'd be hard to do.
Right.
Cody's fucking stoked. We're playing Hunt, and he's like, "We could play Farm Simulator." I'm like, "We can, yeah, we could do that." So there's 5 right there.
That is an accurate statement.
That could happen.
Vermintide, playing Vermintide here and there.
You've already gone past 3 games, you liar.
I know. The more I think about it, the more I've played.
Like, you know what? I totally lied to all of you.
Yep.
And I don't care.
How's Vermintide?
I think the last one I've been playing is a little bit of Overwatch here and there.
Yeah, I saw that. You're slowly easing back into Blizzard.
No.
Uh-oh.
Just the Overwatch.
Did you guys hear that they might be remastering Diablo 2? Do you think they're not going to fuck that up?
Well, I mean, apparently they fucked up Warcraft 3.
Yeah, and a lot of other things that could get us in trouble for even whispering about it.
I don't know. I've never even played it, so.
You ever played Diablo 2?
No, Warcraft 3.
Oh.
I
was like, what?
Ooh.
Warcraft 3 is weird too to me, but Diablo 2, that'd be like saying, I never played Sonic before. Like that, how?
I say that's kind of like one of those PC games.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see. I'm curious to see what they do with it, but they have to be careful with it because I think it's like a lot of people's like quintessential Diablo. So
People
Oh,
still
yeah.
play it.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
What they should do is they should remake it in whatever new engine they have for Diablo 4. Just remake Diablo 2 completely. That'd be fucking crazy awesome.
yeah, I
But
agree.
they'll probably just smooth out the graphics and make it look worse than the original.
So just add RTX. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, just some everything looks super smooth and undetailed, and then there's just like really good lighting.
Good sound.
Yeah,
So you can hear those cows explode in extra HD.
Dolby Digital, fucking 7.1. You hear the bits flying in every fucking direction.
Sorceress can walk across the field, and the fireball she shoots is just this brilliant ray of light casting across the pixelated deathscape.
Yeah, the game just looks like shit, but then that just looks amazing. You're just like, oh! As soon as it gets casted, it just blows your mind. She's been sitting here looking at these pixels, like, oh, this looks pretty good. It looks fine. Then that happens. You're like, oh, it's beautiful. Cue just orchestral music building as it gets casted.
I need someone to mod the game to do this now.
It's a world ender. How's Overwatch? Are you loving it again? Are you like just kind of dabbling again, checking it out, seeing what's up?
Just kind of playing with Keith and Tyler.
He's
here and there.
appeasing people.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Keith's got like 3 games he plays. He's trying to suck everybody into him.
Yeah, yeah. But it's not much has changed other than like, tweaks to the characters here and there, but it's still the same old game.
Yeah. I mean, they're working on Overwatch 2, so I mean, like, I feel like the game is pretty much where it's going to be at this point until they implement that, so
Right.
makes complete sense. Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Anything else on your mind? Anything you just want to talk about?
No.
I don't want to get personal on here. I don't know these people. All right, I'll jump into my list next. I got a weird one. So, played Farm Simulator. Played that. It was really hot when I played it, and then I started playing a little bit, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I know I'm supposed to be farming, but I don't know what I'm doing. And then I started playing City Skyline on the same day when it was super hot, and I started falling asleep. And that's not a knock at it. That's not my opinion. It just was a physical thing that started happening. I tried to play both these games, and the mix between those two things in the heat started fucking just putting me to sleep. So I took a nap.
I think it's probably good to point out that we went from like 60-degree weather to 80-degree like almost overnight. So
Yeah, it's been like 60 degrees, and then when it gets like partly cloudy, kind of sunny out, it's like nice, it's fine, kind of breezy out. Then it's like 83 degrees. And I'm like,
why
okay.
you do this?
Yeah. Although I can handle it. I don't mind the heat too much. My PC is just like
Maybe I would
I'm
just
like,
like
ooh,
a little
easy,
bit
chill out.
more of a subtle build up to it is all.
Yeah, just ease us in a little bit. So yeah, I played those. I will talk about that at length for Game of the Month and Plus Club. Not Game of the Month, but speaking of Game of the Month, I also played Pagan Online. I played that multiplayer with Josh, and I'll talk about that as well later. But I've played all 3 games already, which is really nice because I like to get that knocked out early. Although I do plan on playing all of them a lot more. Played Animal Crossing New Horizons. Actually streamed that as well. So if you're curious about what happened there, I paid off my house. I paid off my debt. I keep telling people that, and they just look at me weird. They're like, "What'd you do in that game?" I'm like, I paid off my bills. And they're like, "Oh." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah. I have a house, and I paid it off." And then they're like, "Hey, we're gonna send you more credit cards because you're doing great. Your credit score is awesome.
you
Let's get
bigger house?
more debt for you." So of course I did that because I'm me, and I'm like, "Yeah, fucking give me more. I want more." Play that though. It was fun. That game is such. When I'm playing, I'm not like, "Oh my god, I'm having such a blast. This is so fun. I'm fucking, my adrenaline's going. I'm fucking enjoying myself. I'm leveling up. I'm fucking getting new stuff." But I'm just enjoying myself. I'm just kind of chilling, looking at my goofy looking dude. I'm looking at Chevy's goofy looking dude. I'm looking at every goofy looking dude because everyone in that game's goofy as shit looking. I'm just kind of like, well, Chevy is just kind of like running around my island pulling weeds. I had no idea he was doing that. And they came back. He's like, "I have them all." I'm like, "Where were you?" And he's like, "I got all your weeds." I'm like, "All of them?" He's like, "Yeah, all of them. Every single one." I'm like, I feel like you might have missed. He's like, "No, I didn't. I definitely didn't." I'm like, "Okay." And then he just gives them to me. I sold them. But yeah, a lot of that game, I'm just kind of like wandering around. I'm capturing shit and fishing. I went to your island. The multiplayer is actually pretty decent. There's a couple things I don't like about it, but they're not even that big a deal. I mean, you were pretty patient when it comes to games.
After playing with you, I completely figured out why they do that now, though.
Why?
So because you can have multiple people, and what a lot of people do is they'll go to, like, trade fruit, to like, oh, hey, CJ's at my island, you want to come sell fish or whatever. Well, then people can show up and they can just start stealing your furniture that's outside. So
weird.
If it's turned off for multiplayer, no one can take anything.
It's just weird that they would even allow you to take it in the first place. I'm surprised they don't just have a system where you have full functionality, but they can't fuck with your items.
It's probably easier just to shut it off, I imagine.
Probably, but yeah. I feel like you could just go a little extra and fucking just make that happen.
I feel like they went a lot extra with this game already, so I agree with you.
They did, but what I'm saying, another developer would have done easily, no problem. So if for this game they went above and beyond, but for other games they could have easily done a little extra to make that more give it better functionality. But outside of that, I'm not even complaining because it's not a big deal. But essentially, for anyone who doesn't know, when you're playing by yourself, you can do everything on your island. But then when people fly to your island, there's a whole system where you have to allow people access to your island, and then they come, they fly in, and when they do that, you're not allowed to like mess with decorating things. You can't put certain things down. You can't move certain things around. And pretty much what Chevy was saying is so people don't fuck with your shit, I guess. But that's not that big a deal. But then, like, in the moment when, like, Chevy comes over, drops something down, he's like, here you go. He has to leave the island for me to interact with it. So either I have to wait till we're done playing together, or he can just leave and come back. And Chevy ended up doing, like, 8 different flights in and out of my fucking island that day. So he was just, like, always just kind of flying in. He'd come walking in, fucking SeaTac, and then he's, like, 5 minutes later, he's like, I gotta go. And he's, like, walks back through the airport, goes through fucking gets checked. They check him for fucking contraband.
Those ain't checking shit.
And then that guy fucking.
Pretty sure he brought fruit and vegetables over, so he's
That's what I was wondering earlier. Where's the checkpoint at? Asking if you have anything to declare, or what fruit you have in your car. What kind of animals are you smuggling in? They're really relaxed on people just coming onto that island. But yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed playing it. I need to play it some more. One of the reasons why I push myself to play it is that is a game that. The longer time you put into the game, the more you get out of it. There's things that just kind of unlock through experiencing the game by coming in, doing things, leaving. Every time you come in, people have new things to say to you. I hadn't played for like a month, and every NPC was talking to me like they hadn't seen me in a month. And I was like, this is awkward. They're like, hey, who are you again? Ha, I'm just joking. I remember you. I'm like, damn.
One of my NPCs asked about you.
Yeah, see, and that shit's neat. There's this whole social element to the game that's really neat.
Like, you know what I've been thinking about lately? I've been thinking about Tasty Senpai. Have you heard from him lately?
Who hasn't been, if I'm being honest? But yeah, there's a lot of neat stuff. But like I said, I gotta just jump in and start playing it. Otherwise, it's not like on my priority list to play that game, because there's no like I'm about to hit level 42 and unlock this thing, or I got new loot to get, blah blah blah. But if you only play a game, if you play it irregularly, you're never gonna experience the whole game. That game's designed for you to essentially live in it, but also revisit it. You can sit there and work all day, and then it might be like, oh, tomorrow something's gonna happen, so you need to come back then, and for anyone who's like really familiar with this, like, yeah, no shit. But like for me, I've played Animal Crossing on and off irregularly since they came out, and never been a huge fan. So for me, it's been a learning experience that I'm like, I can't even judge this game based off of what I've played, because I have like 10% of what's in this game unlocked. So yeah, it's neat though. It kind of gives me like a Stardew Valley vibe without being a farming game. But it has that kind of like micromanaging, events happen kind of feel, that chill feel. And yeah, overall it's pretty neat to play. So
yeah, that game's definitely more heavy on the decoration aspect. Decorate your island.
And there's a lot of suits. You still got to give me that fucking beige jumpsuit I wanted you to buy for me.
I picked something else up for you the other day too.
Hell yeah. So yeah, then I also streamed this as well, Gears Tactics, which is a Gears of War tactical game. Holy shit, I like that game a lot, and I'm not the biggest fan of Gears of War, so that's weird. So whoever made that game was like, let's just make a fucking really good tactical game. And I was like, you know what? Who gives a shit about my opinion on Gears of War? This is a fun ass game. I played that for 6 hours. I went into it, I was like, I'm gonna play for like an hour or two, see what's up with it. And I just kept playing it. And the only reason I stopped playing is I was like, I need to stop. I need to do something else. Like I can just sit there and play it all day. It's essentially XCOM, but Gears of War aesthetically. It has some systems I think are way better than XCOM though. So that's awesome to be able to say, because I like XCOM a lot. XCOM 2 not so much, because it has weird issues with percentages that I really feel like they're just lying. They're like China, just lying about numbers. But no coughing. Oh shit, it's spreading. But yeah, it's really good. It's really like all the available options for tactics essentially are really good. My favorite thing about it though is its Overwatch system is better than XCOM in the sense that in XCOM you can have a character stay behind cover, put them on Overwatch, they skip their turn, but then they just look for movement. And if someone moves, they shoot at them. And hopefully in XCOM 2 they hit them, probably not. But in Gears Tactics, you actually get these cones that, like when you put them in Overwatch, you point the cone in a certain direction, and the further it goes out, the more it spreads. And you can kind of, at first it's like, well, what's the point of making it go further out? Why wouldn't you always have it go further out? But you can have it a little more shallow, closer to the character, so they're more so watching up close. So if someone out in the distance is getting shot at and someone flanks and gets close to your other character, you have that Overwatch set up so that if they run through that, they'll prioritize that and shoot them. And it really adds a lot to the tactics. It's really cool. I like it a lot. The upgrades are really good. There's skill trees for every character that get really. There's some really cool moves. Really was digging the builds you can do in that game. And overall, outside of like everyone being in like a circular big boy armor suit, I like it a lot. I just don't like looking at the characters. They're all so dorky looking. Every one of them. There's like the main character. He's like, I think they're trying to say he's like in his 40s maybe, but he's got like black hair, but he's got like very stylized little swoop right here. It's gray. And I'm like, does he do that on purpose, or are they trying to make me believe that's natural? And he looks flawless, like face-wise. Like that guy looks like he's 20 something. And he's like, I'm grizzled. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Then there's this old buff. Well, I don't know if any of them are buff. All their fucking armor is just, they look like turtle people. Like those dudes in Fifth Element.
Yeah.
I forgot what they're called, but the fucking ones that come walk around, they got the key fucking fingers. They all look like that without the fucking weird duck face thing. They all move like that. Anyway, it's good. Play it if you have. If you're curious about it, check it out. It's on Game Pass as well. It's definitely worth checking out. It's really good. Played Warhammer Online: Return of Reckoning, which is a private server of the MMO that is not around anymore, the Warhammer one. A community member was very pushy in having me try this, and I tried it. And it's weird because it
was
made
it Keith? Is he bullying you into playing games too?
It's not Keith. Definitely not Keith. Although he's tried to get me to play WoW, he's tried to get me to play Overwatch. Him and Almix, I just kind of decided one night that I was gonna play Overwatch.
I saw that
without ever getting a response from me about it. They're like, all right, we're gonna be on, right? Where you at, Seth? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I'm at work right now. I'm not fucking. I couldn't even play if I wanted to.
which is usually the answer anyways, because someone's clock is broken.
Among many other things with one of those too. But yeah, so I'm playing an old school MMO, and the first thing I thought, even though the graphics aren't awesome, made me miss older MMOs, which is weird. I mean, obviously I like Final Fantasy 14, but like a lot of MMOs nowadays, they all feel so fucking streamlined and like simple, I guess. There's less like having to look for shit and having to like actually like read things and figure it out, and combat feels like, I don't know, a lot of them just feel like you're going through the motions to get to the end game or something like that. And so playing this, it took me back to a time where MMOs, even though it came out during the fucking WoW craze, so it's definitely inspired by that a bit. It just kind of took me back to where MMOs were a little more ambitious in what they were trying to do, maybe. It's weird though playing it because I played it back when it came out. I played the beta for it a long time ago, and then I never played when it released. And back then I was like, I don't care about Warhammer. I don't give a shit. Then I've played Vermintide since then. I've played Vermintide 2. I've played Space Hulk. I've played fucking Inquisitor Martyr. I've played a bunch of Warhammer games now since then. So going back, every class in that game looks like all the characters from Vermintide 2. It's weird. I was looking at the Witch Hunter, and he looks just like fucking Saltspire, where the fuck his name is. Victor.
Victor Saltspire.
Yeah, he looks just like him. I was like, fuck, I'm picking him. That's the guy playing Vermintide. So I picked a Witch Hunter, started playing that. And it's cool because he runs around with a sword and a pistol, and I'm shooting people and stuff. I'm like, these are cool. These are cool classes. So I'm like almost appreciating the game more now, retroactively, now that I've gotten a little into. I'm not into Warhammer. I'm not an expert in any way. But I have an interest in it now. So playing it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of neat. Seeing all this, because before I was like, why does he look like some kind of fucking, like he's going to Thanksgiving, like back in like the old days? Why is he dressed like this? And now I'm like, oh yeah, these games have like this aesthetic, and it's interesting. But overall, it's interesting. I'm gonna play a little bit further. Apparently, it's PvP centric, so I need to try that, because that's another thing too about modern day MMOs. I mean, WoW just recently. I don't know anything about WoW, but I heard that you can like turn off PvP. There used to be PvP servers and PvE servers, and now they've made it essentially like Grand Theft Auto 5, where you can put a white flag and be like, I don't want to fight. Right?
That's what I've heard as well.
Yeah, because I heard a bunch of bitch about it.
You get like bonuses for running around when you're flagged.
Yeah.
So you get more experience and things like that, from what I understand.
Yeah. And I mean, that's good. That's streamlined. That makes it so anyone at any time can go, I don't want to get hurt. But I miss the more hardcore approach to going like, this MMO is about PvP. So people who are going to play it are going to be more PvP centric type people. I think the best balance is to just have PvP and PvE servers though. But I kind of miss people like having the balls to like just make an MMO that's first off their vision, but also like, this game is about PvE. This game is about PvP. Final Fantasy 14 is like, this is a story centric MMO. And they have the balls to do that, because people play and they're like, I don't want to play this. This is weird. And it's like, it's not for you pretty much. Yeah. Or, try it further and you might like it. But, I just wish more MMOs, and it's weird to talk about it now in 2020. Fucking MMOs are dead essentially. But so many of them just want to get the most numbers possible, and it makes complete sense. You want that money, like the amount of money and people playing it. They're all playing Fortnite now. But that you just streamline your game and make it as simple and easy as possible so everyone can play it. And it's like, yeah, but it's hard to get invested in that. So, yeah, anyway, playing this kind of reminds me of a time where you could have that MMO you play and, for a reason. Now your options are fucking Final Fantasy 14, Guild Wars 2, and WoW. There's other MMOs, of course, but like all the numbers are so low now when it comes to MMOs that those are like your main three. And people are gonna get pissed, but I think Final Fantasy 14 is probably the most unique of the three, just because it's so different compared to the other two. Guild Wars 2, of course, is different than WoW, but it's more similar to WoW than Final Fantasy 14 is. So anyway, it's just been interesting to revisit an older MMO again. I miss going, like, back in the day, I used to like download every fucking like free to play MMO, every fucking pay for MMO. I do like the free weekends or whatever the fuck, or the trials or whatever, and I'd go through and I'd try all these different MMOs, and a lot of them had like very similar things, and a lot of them had very different things. And there's just a really strong sense of nostalgia playing this game, of like that era of MMO. So I really fucking miss the ecosystem of MMOs. There's so much, shit to wade through, but there was a lot of really cool gems back then. I mean, I liked, even though I know it's got mixed reception, but like Ion, I really liked a lot. But that was heavily PvP centric later in the game, and that's where a lot of people, myself included, kind of fell out of it. Yeah. Because I wasn't playing that game for PvP. I like to go into a game knowing I'm either going to be playing it for PvE or PvP, and that game starts out very PvE centric, and then it's like, hey, if you want to progress further, this whole zone you're going to get fucked. So be prepared. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, but that, Chief.
Yeah, I share the same thing when it comes to Ion. That was one game I did really enjoy. Though in the early days, it was still there's still huge differences between like the Korean versions and English versions of games, and so like the grind aspect is really heavy, but like they tried appealing to a Western audience by putting questing, but there was gaps in the questing, and so leveling was inconsistent. So
Yeah.
that was another taper off from it moment. I was just like, am I questing or am I killing things? Like how am I leveling in this game? So
Yeah, it gets kind of weird.
well, they fixed that obviously later on, but the game's gotten so weird now that I mean, one of the characters uses paintball guns. It's silly.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's the thing about MMOs too. Like the longer they last, like they slowly just turn into something else.
Especially when owned by NCSoft.
Yeah.
I used to really like them.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah. They got a satellite in space though, which is really interesting. That has a bunch of information about humans on it. So if we ever die, it's just floating around the planet, and aliens will be able to find it.
I don't think I want them representing me as a human to aliens.
Unless you don't get a choice. They had the money to put that shit in space. They get launched with something that's in a satellite, but yeah, it's just a chip that has information about human history
I don't
and
think
stuff.
I'd be so flattered to think that they represented Chris in space anyways.
It's just a picture of him.
But like, just alien comes across it. This is human. For more information, pay this much money.
DLC, dude.
But
All the
NCSoft trying to get
microtransactions.
fucking microtransactions from fucking extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
Pay more for more information. We got a lot. You just gotta, work
Here's
your way there.
part of this history lesson. Here's the name of someone from it. You want to know what they did? Where they were involved with? You got to pay for that.
Aliens ain't gonna know what the fuck that is. Like, bro, we fucking travel through goddamn different dimensions to get here. You think we're fucking around with currency still? And yeah, then I'm finally gonna talk about what I've been playing the most. And by the most, I mean like a shitload. I've been playing a lot of Hunt Showdown. A lot. It's pretty much all I play. I literally wake up, go to work, come home from work, play Hunt Showdown, go to sleep, go to work, come home, play Hunt Showdown, go to sleep. And then during the weekend, I wake up, I make sure I eat, I make sure I have sustenance, and then I play Hunt Showdown. That's what I do right now. That's just my life. It is my Wolson of this month. If you don't know, Hunt Showdown is a PvP, PvE game where you play with yourself, another person, or two other people, up to teams of 3. You start on the outside of a map. It's old-timey, so every gun is like lever action, single action, pistols, revolvers, shotguns, stuff like that. And you essentially run around a swampy map with like farms and stuff, looking for clues to track down a monster to kill. So in that regard, it's kind of like Monster Hunter in a weird way. It's kind of like Battle Royales. Yeah, there's a lot of different things going on. Hunters are essentially kind of like roguelike as well. It's weird. There's a strong feeling of Monster Hunter in the sense of finding clues, finding the monster, fighting the monster. Then there's the Battle Royale aspect of being on a random map being on a map with random people and having to fight them and fight the monsters on the map. And then roguelike in the sense that whenever you start the game, you get a hunter. If you live through a match, you keep your hunter, and then you get to add new perks to that hunter. You get to buy gear for that hunter. But if that hunter dies, they're gone forever. So you have to get a new hunter and start over again. So there's a big risk versus reward system to the game that I fucking love. I was really big, in DayZ and Arma and stuff like that. So I love games that are really I don't know, intense. Like this whole game, I'm just like fucking almost having a heart attack the whole time playing it, but I love it. So yeah, you run around this map. There's zombies that just kind of walk around. They'll attack you. There's immolators, which are these fire guys. There's really cool systems to all the monsters as well. If you shoot an immolator or if you pierce an immolator at all, they will ignite and blow up, do damage from the explosion, and then light everything on fire. If you don't pierce them, they don't do that. So the best tactic in that is to run up and beat the fuck out of them with some kind of blunt damage. There was a string of matches I was playing with Cody where, and he knows this, he would just keep shooting them. They would like run right in his face and he'd just stare at him. And as soon as they smacked him, he goes, boom, and then go just explode, and we're like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I know. I'm like, but yeah, there's cool systems. There's these things. I don't think they're called husks. They might be called husks, but it calls them husks, which are these big like lumbering dudes who almost look like they're like got a beehive forming on them. And those dudes take less damage if you shoot them, so you want to run up and melee them. There's this bee chick we call bee bitch. Every time we're just like bee bitch. Her head's hanging off the side of her body because her chest ripped open. There's fucking bugs flying out of her. You got to shoot her in the head to drop her, otherwise she sends bugs after you. They swarm you. They fuck you up really quick. This game reminds you of Dark Souls as well, because in Dark Souls, you'll get cocky. You're running through, you're like, yeah, I've been through this area a couple times. I'm just grinding. And then one dude will just pull off a move real quick that just throws you off and just kills you. It's like you died, and you're like, oh, shit. I got a little too comfortable. This game does that. I've killed so many of the random monsters on the map so many times, and there's still situations where one misstep happens and I get swarmed by one thing, and then a pack of dogs runs over and starts fucking biting me. I start taking bleeding damage while I'm also poisoned, and then an immolator runs over and explodes. I'm just dead. And I'm like, well, that fucking could have went a lot better. So you hunt these monsters, you kill the monster. When you kill it, you banish it. You have to wait like 3 minutes for it to banish. While it's banishing, it tells every other player on the map that's being banished. So about 90 to 95% of the time, if you're banishing a monster, expect to get in a fight. Like every time, just assume you're gonna fight somebody. Get ready. And then once it banishes, you pick up bounties off of it, up to 2, and the bounty allows you to be able to see through fucking walls for 5 seconds, and kind of see where people are coming from, and then you have to escape. So you hunt, kill, and then escape. You can also extract at any time. You can kill people and kill the monsters, and then go, this match isn't going so well. Let's just get the fuck out of here and extract, and then get experience. So it's a really interesting game, and I have a weird history with it. I played it a long time ago, and fucking it was so early when the game came out. It was like lagging. It took forever to get into a server. It had all these issues. So it's like, you know what? This game looks really cool, but it's just not working well. So I refunded it, got my money back, forgot about it. And then recently I've been hearing about it again a lot lately. I'm like, oh, is it not dead? Like there's actually people playing it. And you look up reviews, people are talking it up. Like, I love this game, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I hop back in, and now I'm just completely addicted to it. I just fucking love it. The combat is so different feeling than other FPSs. There's something so intense about firing a shot and waiting to pull back the hammer again before you can shoot again, or fucking pulling the lever to fucking cock your gun before you can shoot again. It's all paced in a way that every bullet counts. You got to really work with your accuracy and fucking really keep moving constantly. It is definitely a hardcore game, and it's nice because I've been playing so many like not hardcore games for like a while now. I play a lot of games, obviously everybody knows, but like I used to be like really into like more hardcore games, more competitive games. This game is that. Like a casual person will not enjoy this game. There's way too much to lose if you don't get good. This is a game that you have to get good to enjoy. If you're not willing to expand your skills and get better at the game, it's not going to hold your hand. It's a very difficult game, and there are fucking straight murderers in this fucking game. And sometimes I'm one of them. So, and then other times I'm not. But
sometimes I don't believe the sometimes bit of that at all.
I got a fucking video, man. I got a video of me fucking murking people.
Yeah.
I stabbed a dude to death, ran in, popped a dude with a rifle, pulled a shotgun out, killed him. And then fucking ran around a corner, and my teammate shot a dude, killed him. Right when he shot and killed that guy, a guy shot and killed him, and then I shot and killed the guy who shot him. Within 1 second, 3 people dropped. It was like pop, 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 and fucking 3 people just dropped. And I got my partner up, just wrecking people. I love it, dude. I love it. It's so fucking fun. When you kill someone, you feel awesome in that game because it's difficult. Sometimes you're fighting someone and like they just happen to get that headshot, and you're just done. You're out. There's a lot of cool systems in it too, like fire damage. You have a health bar. Each character, each hunter that you get has like different health bars that I'm not going to get into. But if you take fire damage, it slowly starts depleting your health bar. And wherever you stop the fire damage, your health bar doesn't go beyond that anymore. So you lose that, which is really interesting. So getting lit on fire sucks. Even if you survive it, now you're just kind of fucked for the rest of the round. That's why immolators suck. That's why having Molotovs thrown at you sucks. But there's a really cool tactic that if you down someone's partner, the only way they can get back up. This isn't like battle royales where you can crawl around and try and get back to your team. You're out. And if your teammate comes over and gets you back up, you're back. But you do lose a bub of your health if you get brought back, which I think is a good system. If you're going to come back, you should be disadvantaged. But a tactic that a lot of people do, including myself, is you throw fucking a Molotov on their body, and even though they're on the ground and their health is depleted, it still will burn their health bar away. And so if it depletes their health bar all the way, you can't res them. They're done. So there's a lot of situations like that. I got into a fight right before filming this where I was in the woods. I ran into like 3 other teams, but I barely saw anyone. I started bolt snapping near me every once in a while. I fucking fire off a shot between trees at somebody. And then like some guy, like I turn around, this guy's like right in my face. I went to shoot him and someone else shot him. He fucking drops in front of me. I run past him and then I hear someone going up to his body. And then I hear another shot go pop and fucking that guy drops. So I pull out a Molotov. I look around the tree and I fucking throw on both of them. I didn't even kill them, but I was like, I don't want either of these guys to come back. This is too crazy. And the guy who was shooting at me eventually, I shot back at him a couple times. He just left. My partner was dead. I had to go fucking get him back up. And then we just extracted. I was like, that was fucking sketchy. It's like there's just a murderer out there. Just like silent sniper in the fucking trees. I'm happy I survived. But yeah, I do plan on doing a more comprehensive video. I also want to do a highlights video because there's so many awesome plays in this game that I'm like, that was fucking dope, that I want to show. So yeah, if you've been curious about playing Hunt Showdown, play it. Start playing it. It already has a pretty decent community, people who are really dedicated to it. I'd love to see this game grow. It's been out since like 2016 or 17 or something like that. It's been out for a fucking while, and the community's really healthy right now. So if you're curious about this game, hop into it. It's on PS4. I don't know how the fuck it plays on there. I guess everybody's using controllers, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, on PC, people who are good at aiming fucking definitely do well. But yeah, it's a perfect time to pick it up and play it. I'd like to see this game continue to get bigger and better. So really enjoying it. It's like my gaming addiction right now. So love it. Chevy, what have you been playing?
Well, I mean, I also, besides choking right now,
That's a fun game.
I played Animal Crossing. You kind of brought that up already. We did some multiplayer. I pretty much play every day, though I missed today. I have the main house expanded once and with 3 additional rooms now, paying off the 3rd room. And then after that, I believe you get, and I don't know.
They need to rename that game just in big bold letters on the case. Pay off your debt.
Well, and then
Debt payment.
eventually you get to the point where you get other projects you can build at the same time. So like bridges and ramps and stuff like that. And those cost money too. So I kind of will bounce back and forth. So I've made a couple bridges, some ramps. I've upgraded my house a little bit. I finally, because a lot of the landscaping tools you get from getting a higher island rating, which involves having a bigger population and actually like taking care of the way the island looks. So I've been starting to like actually put trees in very specific spots, flowers. I got to move people's houses around and stuff at some point. I did get to rank 2 out of 5 now. I don't think it really unlocked anything for me yet, but I do know at some point you get an actual like terraforming tool, and you get the ability to like, paint sidewalks on the ground and stuff like that too. So like eventually you can make, I mean, I've seen people on like TikTok specifically making straight up just Japan, like roads, tightly clustered buildings, like power poles all over the place. Like it's crazy the amount of decorating you can do in that game eventually. So yeah, I'm having fun with that. I'm still missing a couple fruits, though. I know
Show's a fruit fiend.
one of our community members, the one that got you to play Warhammer, actually, picked it up and has cherries. So I need to harass them at some point for that. And then I don't really have a whole lot going on outside of that. I have a collection of fish and bugs right now because I'm waiting for there's vendors in that game that'll buy stuff from you for 1.5 times value. I'm just waiting for them to show up. So, yeah, 14. Been playing Final Fantasy 14 still. less than I have been, just because there is a lull in the patch cycle at this point, and so just kind of hop in. I'm doing miscellaneous stuff like Chris has said is doing. I'm doing the same thing. The only real big change is during our raid nights, I've switched over to healer for a lot of that now, which has been very weird for me. I'm not used to healing in current content.
I don't want to do this.
It can be stressful. It can also be really easy. So a lot of your healer's job depends on how good like you are at not getting hurt. So it's been fun though. I do want to try out the other healers in that situation though, because white mage is kind of like the easier one to play. What else? Played City Skyline today before recording. I played for a few hours. I already own this game, so I pretty much knew what I was getting to. This is more so a to see how it plays on PS4, and I'll have plenty to talk about in that regard when we get there.
Seems like it plays pretty decent.
I would, just to kind of throw it out there, if you're concerned about the way it plays on controller, don't be.
Yeah, if felt, and I'm not even saying this as an impression. This is just something. If you guys are like waiting on this game, or like I don't really want to play that, it plays pretty decent on controller. It feels like it's literally called PS4 edition. So I think they like, kind of like retooled the way the UI probably works compared to the PC one. I haven't played the PC one, but it looks like it's made for console, which is cool.
It kind of reminds me of the same way if you play like a shooter on PC versus console. Like you can tell on console that it's doing a little bit to like help you smooth out the aiming process, because you just can't aim the same way.
You'd think that, but anytime I bring up aim assist to people when it comes to console games, they act confused.
Wow. Regardless,
like,
it exists.
It has aim assist. You've been using it for years, and fucking you need that.
Cities has an assist built into the joystick function so that you have a more precise movement the same way a mouse would. So, I don't know. It's well done in that regard. So I will leave it at that, though.
He loves it. It's the best game ever. A+.
Come back at the end of the month to find out.
Triple S.
I play anything else?
That's it.
I think that covers it. No.
You can play an obscure MMO from 25 years ago.
No, I have my MMO of choice at this point. It would take.
Ooh, he's got refined taste.
It would take a brand new one for me to kind of take interest in anymore.
New World?
Just something. Like you said, the genre's pretty much dead.
Yeah.
It
It's dead as
exists
fuck.
slightly on the console space and more so on the mobile space. And I don't want to play the genre on mobile just because like the way mobile MMOs usually work is there's a lot of like auto running and auto combat and stuff like that. And I get it for because
Calling out Black Desert or what?
no, actually that one makes you do a lot more than a lot of them do.
That
Like
game's a fucking mobile game that looks amazing.
but it's just kind of disappointing to see that like that's the space that they're taking up, and I kind of get it. Like it's with you at all times. The genre kind of lends itself to specifically the free to play MMO genre lends itself to mobile really well in business practice, but combat does not feel good on a phone in my opinion. No MMO I've played on a phone feels good when I'm in control. So it just turns into me just letting the game play itself. And I don't want to do that.
Which is crazy because I get why they do that 100%. And the people who just want to progress through a game, it's for them. But it's crazy that you developed a fucking 3D world with 3D characters and loot and visual aesthetic stuff, maybe housing, guilds, all that stuff. And then the game just plays itself.
Yeah.
So like all that work went into pretty much a full game, and then for convenience reasons, because playing on a phone's not that great, and it makes sense. Like, why wouldn't you just, if you have an auto do everything button, why not use it? But it's so deflating. It's weird to me. Like I was playing Black Desert online or mobile. I was like, wow, this is actually really impressive that they did this. And then I'm just sitting there pressing that button in the top right, and my guys just run to the mission, and he starts killing shit. And then he runs back to the person. And I'm like, you put all this work into this game, and I don't even have to be here for it.
Yep.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just unfortunate. I'm sure, there are a bunch of like smaller devs or even like independent people trying to develop MMOs still in the PC space, and that I just don't know about. But
It's weird. A
the
lot of
big
them
companies are gone.
A lot of them are trying to like go back to a simpler time in MMOs, and they were doing that before WoW Classic, and then WoW Classic came out, and it's like, I think people who make MMOs just don't get it because they're like, well, they don't like what we made now, so let's just give them what they had before. It's like, no, you got to evolve the genre. It became stagnant.
Yeah, well, and one thing, and I hate using it as the example, but like the one thing I always hear like Final Fantasy 14 players say all the time is a big reason the game keeps kind of like a positive reception all the time is the dev talks. And the developers are constantly talking with the player base.
Yeah.
That's huge. And so when there is something that people are like, oh, this isn't really fun, they go, okay, we'll work on it.
Well, because MMOs, even though they are a game and they're a creative, outlet and should be respected in some regard, if we're going to talk about like video games in general, but because they are an active service that you're playing constantly, you have to be more business minded than someone who just puts out a game and then patches it after it's done.
Yeah.
Because then it's done. It's the way it is. When The Last of Us 2 comes out, you're going to play it and you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. But like with an MMO, they expect you to keep playing it and keep playing it. And so if you're not listening to your customers, you made your money, but you want to keep making the money. So you have to keep up with it. So it's good that they are active in listening to the community. That's something Warframe, DE does as well. They're very active with their community, and that's so important. Blizzard is just kind of living off fumes of its once great empire, and because they fuck up and they just keep going.
I did hear they're starting to do some community communication, but like, how long?
Yeah, asking people if they got phones or not.
Sure.
You don't got phones?
But
they got their phones?
I do think it really kind of just like the future of games as service games, period, not just MMOs. I do think the developer to player communication is a huge factor, because the examples I can give right now, to use like even Destiny 2 as an example, that game went from bad reception to good reception to now people are kind of in the bad again because they're just not being talked to. They're not listening.
You know who fucking, and this is a hot take. This is a fucking straight up hot take. People are going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about, Seth? Fortnite and Apex Legends are very good at supporting their games and being community oriented. That's why they're still super successful.
And it's important.
They are constantly letting you know, hey, next season's coming out, but here's what's going on this season and all this shit. And they're keeping their people hyped. And specifically Fortnite, I don't play it. I don't enjoy it. But the shit they do in that game, the money they're making goes back into it big time. Like impressively big time. It's crazy. They do these huge fucking digital concerts with real celebrities, which I don't give a fuck because I don't care about celebrities. But it's still neat that if you're like a fan of these people, you can have like this digital event that happens. I was impressed when I was playing PSO2 and they had a little fucking concert with some like little anime chick going, buh, 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 buh. And I'm just like looking, I'm like, oh, this is neat.
Dude, those social features are really important.
It's neat. But then fucking they had like a straight up big ass event in Fortnite, which had like thousands of fucking people. How many people were in there? There's a lot. There's a lot of fucking people there. There's like the most people in a game ever. And
I think it was millions.
Yeah. That's why when I said thousands, I'm like, I think I'm really undercutting that quite a bit. Like, I think there was a lot of fucking people. Crazy amount of people were there. I'll just put it that way. And it was this whole event where fucking, I forgot who it was, but it was like this concert. I saw footage of it and like, not really for me, but it's crazy they even did that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw little blips of it. And
you will keep coming back to that game if they keep doing shit like that. That's a once like event that you're like, were you there for that? And they got stuff for it that you can wear in Fortnite later when you're playing. Like,
it's just unreal that they can
crazy
do something like that, because like you show up and you're just in a giant sandbox essentially with this huge version of a celebrity doing.
There's a part where fucking they all start flying through goddamn different dimensions and shit. And I was like,
you're essentially part of the music video.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Yeah, it's an interactive like event, and it's regardless of your opinion on Fortnite, like that developer is being creative. They're supporting their game, and they're giving their people, their fans of their game, something to look forward to. That's not just like there's a new gun in the game now, which is great. I love new guns in games. But I'm not playing any game right now. It's like, hey, there's this crazy big event that's going to happen that really hasn't been done in a game before. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
Like,
they're really showing things you can do in gaming that just no one thought of. Like, I don't know. Or at least they didn't attempt to do it, I should say.
I am never going to have an event in Hunt Showdown where I get to fucking hang out in the swamp with like Beyonce fucking dancing around.
For sure.
Although I wish that would happen. That'd be fucking, that's the perfect game for Beyonce to be in. There's a bee bitch in it.
Yeah, to bring it back to essentially, being a games as a service and listening to your community, or at the very least, like holding fun events for them and stuff like that too. I think the biggest problem that the genre has, the free to play market, the pay to play, monthly service, whatever version, games as a service, is that most of these companies are attempting to make a game with they throw in what the formula for addiction essentially. Yep. And expect you to just like, that's the only thing they'll hold you over, and eventually you kind of catch on to the game and you're like, it's not that the hit isn't good enough anymore essentially. Yeah. So
well, MMOs picked up because they were out in the fucking 90s. It's an ambitious idea. They're trying to create digital worlds that people were playing together, and that's a cool idea. And then they picked up EverQuest 2, WoW, fucking all these games. They nailed the secret sauce. So it's the perfect time of going, I really want these games to be fucking cool, and they made them cool. They finally worked. The servers were great. A bunch of people were there. You got to fucking hang out with all sorts of people and make guilds and go kill shit and level up, and it's like a big revolution. You're like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like, MMOs are these living, breathing worlds you can be in, and then they just stayed that way forever. And then other people went, holy shit, World of Warcraft has a lot of people play it, and they all pay monthly. That's a lot of fucking money. Like, all we do is release a game, get our $60, and then the customer just fucks off. And then we want more money. So why aren't we doing that? So then they're like, well, what does WoW do? What does the other MMOs do? Just do that. Well, then people are going to call it a WoW clone. Well, who cares? Just fucking make it look different. Add one feature that's different. And then the developer is going to go, okay, gotcha, but here's an original idea. Let's do that. Like, obviously we want to get a little creative. Okay, cool. But don't deviate too much, because we need to pull people from WoW. We want that money. And then it just became that. That's the contest. And then it died. It's dead. Like, fucking MMOs are over right now until someone reinvents the fucking wheel. But yeah, it became more of a business centric genre of a service. And it just sucks.
Yep.
It's completely deflated.
That's why there's only a couple now. So
yeah, I mean, the last MMO I was excited for was EverQuest Next, because they were essentially taking the MMO formula, but also bringing in, at this point, it's kind of tired, but like voxel-based world. A voxel-based world where you could actually change the world. You could blow something up and leave a hole in the fucking ground. You could build stuff in that world. And I'm like, okay, they're trying something different. This is very ambitious, especially on an MMO scale. There's other games with small servers you can do that, but to do that in an MMO, that's fucking crazy. Game got scrapped. New world's coming out. It sounds interesting, but is it enough to get people to go, you know what, I miss MMOs? I don't think it will. I don't think it's going to fucking pull people back. Some people are gonna play it out of interest. I'm curious about it. I'm probably gonna play it. But yeah, people just nobody's doing anything. It's been fucking years since this formula got created. Nobody's thought of anything. I'm not a developer, but if you sit me down for a couple hours, I'm sure I'll come up with something.
Which is kind of crazy too, because like with the ones that are still alive, so like WoW obviously has like the people who play WoW and it's still, and so they release new content with these new promises of things, and to my knowledge, I don't play WoW anymore, but like they hop in, people are excited for WoW, but then by the sounds of it, their development cycle, there's long gaps in between updates, and then when they're going into expansion mode, there's like nothing. So I imagine they lose numbers during that time because you're in a lull. Final Fantasy XIV's whole shtick is it's story centric. You're playing a Final Fantasy game. Yeah. And so people show up on patch days in huge numbers, but then towards the end of patch cycles, it lulls because they're just waiting for more story to come out, essentially. And that's just the kind of the cycle they're in, and you have to be into either one or the other in that regard. Fortunately, a lot of these people have figured out, as you heard even with the Path of Exile devs talk about, you're not trying to necessarily keep them anymore. You want them to come back, though. Come back. Play some more.
It's not even just you want them to come back. You have to let them know that there's reason that they will be coming back. You have to accept they're going to go.
Yep.
And they did that, and then they went, so we got to know they're going to leave, but we need to remind them, hey, we know you're going to go, but look forward to this.
Yeah, exactly.
When that comes out, hopefully we'll see you again. And that's pretty much, I mean, Warframe does that as well. Yeah. It seems like Final Fantasy 14 is doing that as well. That is, because it was interesting when I listened to the guys who make Path of Exile talk about that. They said for years they tried all different things, and finally just through like analytics, they finally realized these dips happen. And when they're doing certain ways of like releasing content every like fucking couple weeks to every couple months or whatever, those dips just got lower and lower each time. And they said they had to finally they realized like they're going to go no matter what, but you need to let them know to come back, and then you recognize they are going to leave.
Yeah. And that's funny because that's Yoshida from 14.
Yeah.
He basically says all the time, he's like, go play other games. It's fine. We'll be here. Come back when the patch comes out. Like,
yeah.
But go play. He encourages people, go play other games.
I think at this point in the genre, that's just a known truth, I guess. That's just something they learned over time. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's just depressing though. Like I said, when I was playing fucking Warhammer, I was just like, man, this was a whole era in gaming where MMOs were just like the biggest fucking thing. And now it's battle royales that own the market still.
Yeah.
But they're still on the decline. But
I mean, it was survival games for a long time too.
Yeah. Yeah, before this.
And Minecraft style games. And like, I mean, there's always the flavor. So
it's funny, they're all social games too.
I mean, we say it all the time anymore. Social stuff's important, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I just wish someone would take their MMO and incorporate all these like cool ideas that other MMOs have tried in the past. Like Neverwinter had this really cool system of you could make your own dungeons.
Oh yeah,
for players to play.
I love
and
it.
You could build your own stories. I think it was the coolest system an MMO ever had.
Yeah, Neverwinter was a super inventive game. Very fucking smart. I actually, when it came out, got to max level. Like a lot of times in MMOs, I don't do that. But that game I was really into.
Well, that had stuff, I think, kind of for everybody, though, because it did have, like, it was separate. So if you're in the world PvP, it didn't have that. But it had a PvP mode. It had.
I liked the PvP in that one, too.
Your normal progression system. Yeah, you went from. But it was a very linear progression, which a lot of times is kind of a good thing in MMOs because it gets really tedious backtracking all the time. And this game literally was like, you're going to go from point A to point B in these zones while leveling and doing the story, because it was very story heavy as well.
Yeah, the zones were set up in a linear path, but they're still like open areas.
No, for sure.
It's like you're beating a level almost.
Exactly. And it kind of had this mixture of like you're playing an action game, you're playing an MMO, you're playing a story game. There's a versus section to this game. And when you got to the end of it, it had your MMO grind. You want to do the tiers of gear and whatnot. It was all there. And then on top of that, create a dungeon.
Why is that not a name for a game yet? Tiers of Gear. It sounds like a mobile game or something.
It would totally be a mobile game.
Josh is going to pop in the Discord and be like, have you heard of Tears of Gear, the new free-to-play mobile game where you too can play with your friends against 20 different bosses, and if you act now, you'll get 200 Tears of Gear coins that you can spend on
Tog coins.
Fucking hats. There's hats in the game. Cool, bro.
Steam made it? Or Valve?
Probably. Fuck, I don't give I'm over Tears of Gear. It was a good idea, Chevy, but I'm just kind of fucking done with it, man.
Well, that's how quick the market turns.
Yeah. So. That era's over. Tears of Gear was good while it lasted.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Yeah, that was the whole conversation. That's good. That's good. Anything else?
No.
Play Hunt Showdown. Let us know in the comments, what have you been playing for the last 2 weeks? Anything you recommend? I know somebody in the community is playing Trials of Mana, which is a game I really want to pick up, but I just have too many games right now.
Truth.
Yeah. But let us know what you've been playing. What are you enjoying? What are you not enjoying? Did you play something you're like, dude, don't fucking play this? Just give me those warnings. I like that. Like when people are like, dude, this game's fucking shit. Stay away from him. Like, okay, well, I'm still going to check it out, but thank you. I'll relay that to other people. Because I'll play anything once. And yeah, let us know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. So we're going to make up for lost time with some videos. Recently, we got The Last of Us Part 2 story trailer that came out. I have not watched this yet. So we're going to watch that today. It's 4 days old, which on YouTube is like fucking years. And then we also have the Assassin's Creed Valhalla first look gameplay trailer. I know already it's called the gameplay trailer, and a lot of people are really upset because I guess it doesn't have a whole lot of gameplay in it. I guess the whole Inside Xbox thing that happened was not well received. I was going to react to it. Very busy this last week. But then I was looking at the reaction. People fucking were upset with this because they're like, we're going to be showing the next gen of gameplay. And I guess they barely showed any, and everybody bitched about it. And not only did people bitch about it, Xbox like, you know what? We kind of fucked up. And even Ubisoft was like, you know what? That wasn't that great, huh? I'm like, damn, was it that bad? That's crazy. Normally people are like, you guys don't appreciate anything. You don't respect nothing. And then
You got phones.
Don't you have phones? But they were like, yeah, maybe that could have been better. And then they're like, there's a pandemic. I'm like, yeah, that's a good excuse. That's a good excuse, honestly. This is the 1 year you get to pull that card. So yeah, we're going to be watching the Assassin's Creed Valhalla first look gameplay trailer. It's only a minute and a half. If there's other videos from that Xbox event that we should watch, let us know in the comments. I'm also willing to watch the whole thing in its entirety, but everybody I've talked to is like, it's not worth it, which sucks. But there's like a fucking multiplayer dinosaur killing game, though, that apparently was like stole the show. Everybody's like, this is the best game of the Xbox event. It's like yeah, they were like, it's like Turok meets like fucking a multiplayer game. So, and I'm like, I'm sold. I like dinosaurs. I like shooting shit.
I didn't even hear about that.
I heard about it. I heard whispers of it. Mostly I've heard negative things about the whole event, but people were like, this was the crowning fucking achievement of that event, was the Turok dinosaur game. So
it's going to get canceled?
Probably, yeah.
That's what happens.
It gets hyped and Xbox is like, we can't have that. Get rid of that. You gotta keep them excited, but not too excited. Then they'll expect too much. Yeah. So we're gonna watch this Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Fun fact: we reacted, all three of us, to the original reveal for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but we did it in a weird way that I've never done it before. And of course, every time we do that, something goes wrong. So something went wrong, and I had to delete that episode. And then I reacted to it on my lonesome. It wasn't an actual reaction; it was more so just me talking about my opinion on it, which kind of sucked. So we get to do this a second time with a different video when it comes to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That being said, any hype?
No.
Damn. Chris, nothing?
Vikings.
Tasty.
Yes.
So in all fairness, I have not played, since that video got scrapped, I guess I kind of have to explain my stance on this. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed since the French one.
Le Français.
And so I'm way out of loop on these anyway. So I have heard from everybody that the new direction they've gone is awesome. Mm-hmm. I just haven't dove into it. I am probably more interested in playing and I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but the Rome or Greece one, whatever one it was.
No, that's safe. Just say both. It's fine. Can't be wrong.
I'm not the biggest fan of Viking stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of Egyptian stuff. So like those two things.
Chevy, you disgrace our lineage.
Well, whatever.
Have you seen these beards? They're not here right now.
Yeah,
I actually shaved mine off like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. It's been very cold. Mine's growing
I'm the
back.
hairiest
though.
one.
You are the
Chris,
hairiest one
what
right
the
now.
fuck? Yeah, that's a great point. That's his conquest. That's why he's. I
don't know.
I win.
I would love for them to obviously keep making these because people are buying them, obviously, so I don't have to worry about that. But when a category or an era comes up that I'm interested in, I'll probably be more inclined to want to jump in.
Japan, dude, where is it, man? We've been doing this for years. We've been saying this for years. Where is it?
Yeah, or even just revisiting one of the ones they've done, but in this style of gameplay. So,
China.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
Except for it's Ubisoft, so you'll literally be able to explore every fucking inch of actual China.
Ooh.
I'll say, like, I didn't get to play the one that was based in America. I didn't get to play. would totally take an old French one again. And then yeah, pretty much anything out of Asia because they just apparently don't want to make an Asian game.
They made like a mobile one or something, but who gives a fuck?
Agreed. Who gives a fuck?
I'm gonna be like, oh, a mobile Assassin's Creed, and you finally did something in Asia. I'm sold. I was like, nah, just make a real one.
Cavemen.
Stop being stupid.
I'll take Cavemen too. That'd be fun.
Damn, the story goes back that far.
Sure. Why
Although when it was ancient Egypt, people were like, "What? You tell me it's going back that far?" So they all said. So if they brought back to cavemen, I don't think anybody
I'll
would.
take sci-fi.
A futuristic Assassin's Creed. It was long rumored that people thought that the story was going to go to modern day, where you're going to be assassin in modern day.
Yeah.
That never happened.
Just kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Although that would have been too expected. That's so Ubisoft. The game was already like
I would say everything is
historical,
modern
which is
stuff.
Ubisoft, but then fucking they make a lot of like tax shooters and like modern, like I'm gonna hack everything fucking games. And it already kind of dabbled in both anyway, so it kind of made sense that maybe as you go through the story, it would progress to you're in modern day, now you're a modern assassin, and it just turns into Watch Dogs with fucking hidden blades.
It's just gonna be Assassin's Creed Siege.
Well, there's even like fucking there's even early like speculation. People thought that Watch Dogs was going to be related to Assassin's Creed at some point and stuff like fucking, and that just never came to fruition. And then people like me and everybody else were like, oh, let's get a Japanese Assassin's Creed, and Ubisoft's like, no,
But we'll put them in For Honor for you.
we're keeping it in Europe, baby, and now we'll go to Scandinavia. We like them cloudy areas. The sun hurts our French skin.
I'm sure the game will be fine.
Oh yeah, that's probably gonna be fine. We should probably watch the video and find out if it's gonna be fun. You guys ready?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, Chris, ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, and go.
Action.
I am the night.
Trees look good.
Lighting is good because everything's dark.
I'm sure the game will be AAA as fuck. So
Oh yeah, it's Ubisoft. Although Ubisoft is my favorite AAA developer. I guess CD Projekt Red is technically a AAA developer now, so that's something I have to reconsider my position on. One thing I'll give this game though is I think the scenery is much more interesting than
sure.
a lot of the recent Assassin's Creed games.
well, then even as more than expected as well.
Yeah,
So
I understand why people are upset about this being a gameplay trailer.
How is it a gameplay trailer?
because no one's playing.
Running.
There's gameplay. There's gameplay. Gameplay.
Assassin's
That's a very
Creed
Ubisoft
Valhalla,
thing to do.
available holiday
What?
2020.
End on the eyes.
Well, I think people's like eyes, Ubisoft included. Well, that was a trailer, and the whole time I was thinking, it'll be good.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it will be.
It wasn't, but that had nothing to do with the trailer. That trailer didn't do anything for me. I was like, it'll be fine.
No.
I was looking, I'm like, it'll be fine. It's a good fun game. So I mean, the trailer didn't do much for me. It was fine. It was a fine trailer. Had dramatic music. It had a lot of really cool shots of slow-mo running and smoke and fire, which is, you're like, oh my god, the fucking the war is hell. It's so awful, and fucking killing people is hardcore. We get it. But where the fuck was the gameplay? Most of that was
Sprinkled.
just eyes in the night, fucking lighting and cool skies. This
If you had
game's
told me
gonna-
this was a new expansion for For Honor, I would have believed you from that trailer.
Ooh, that's a really good point. I would have too.
Yeah, I would say it doesn't really scream Assassin's Creed. So yeah,
Only the thing where he jumped up the dude and was like fucking doing his thing.
But
That's
even then, you
some
could have
Assassin's
told me
Creed shit.
that they're bringing an Assassin's Creed-esque character into For Honor, and I would have been
Sure.
like, okay, I see it.
No, that's a good point because if you didn't say that was Assassin's Creed, that trailer was so generic and so Ubisoft that you could be like, oh, is that For Honor?
Yeah.
In fact, if I didn't know there was Assassin's Creed coming out and I saw that trailer, I'd be like, what is this?
Yeah.
Is that some Viking game? Like what? And then if someone was like Ubisoft, this is an Ubisoft trailer, I'd be like, oh, it's For Honor for
also
sure.
part of Skull and Bones.
Somebody said that was, I think Olmix said that was canceled, and then someone else was like, no, it's not. And I'm like, What's the truth? That's so modern nowadays. There's no real truth.
What is the truth?
There's just opinions people say as truths. Anyway, that trailer didn't do shit for me, but I just told myself while watching it that I'm going to pick the game up. I'm sure it'll be fine. Which sucks, because that, like, I'm not even like, I didn't watch the trailer and go, that was shit. That looked awful. And I was like, ooh, I'm stoked. I was just like, it literally did nothing for me.
Yeah.
That trailer did fucking nothing for me at all.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same.
Water is more interesting to drink.
I don't know if I'd say that much, but yeah,
I'm drinking water.
it was it was a trailer.
Oh, that tastes so much better than what I just watched.
So I mean, from what I took from it is that, like we brought up when it was playing, was that the environments are very cool looking, and if they are like that in the game the whole time through, then that's way cooler than I honestly expected it to look like. And then also from our cut episode, when they did the CG trailer,
Destroyed episode.
there was a lot of armor variants that I honestly didn't expect them to go with. So I'm very happy that taking something like that, for me at least, I'm not like super pumped for. I still think like there's a lot of cool looking things in there, and I honestly could see myself, with better trailers and some positive opinions from people who've playing it. That's something I might pick up, but that trailer alone, that didn't sell me anything.
The only thing in that whole trailer that I even had an opinion on, outside of going, yeah, this is a trailer with music, is at one point it showed him throw a fucking axe and went,
Right.
and I was like, in my head, I didn't even see it. They didn't show me it, but I was like, I do like the idea if you were fighting people with axes and shit, and you could just throw one and hit someone. That'd be fucking dope. I'd be into that.
Sure.
Huh?
I said God of War.
Yeah. Which is great. So this idea I made up in my head based off watching a guy throw an axe into in some random direction. I like the idea I'm thinking of. They didn't show me it, but if you can sit there and melee combat with people and then throw an axe into someone, that I'll be into that.
You
but
played that game.
it's pure speculation, huh?
You played that game.
Which game?
The game where you get to fight a bunch of people and throw an axe at the same time.
Played a couple games like that.
I think the problem we're running into here is you're going to have two categories of people. There's people who watched the CG trailer and got really hyped during that, and then people who didn't. So this is their first intro into what's happening with Assassin's Creed. They're going to be kind of hyped by it. But for us who watched the CG trailer before, this adds nothing new. Like there's minimal gameplay footage really. And it just feels like a lower quality initial trailer for the game.
They should have showed this as a teaser before the fucking CGI trailer.
Absolutely.
I actually enjoyed that fucking trailer, and it was CGI. I was like, this is actually really well done. That thing, I was like, okay, the chick's going,
it just doesn't add anything new for it, other than maybe the axe throwing. As you mentioned it, that's the newest thing for the combat system. But
it might be new. I'm pretty sure you can throw shit in another Assassin's Creed, but throwing an axe and getting that fucking sound, I'm all about it.
Right. But it just didn't add anything for me because I've already seen the CG trailer. It just seemed like a lower resed version of it.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else you guys want to say on that? Didn't seem like anybody was super impressed with it.
No.
It just didn't change my opinion.
Agreed.
Like it was like I could go without seeing that and feel the exact same way as after watching it.
Yeah.
It was a very ineffective trailer. And I'm sure they've heard so much backlash that's been way more harsh than what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
That they know that. They literally, Ubisoft came out and were like, yeah, we could have done better.
I think the only way this could harm it for me as far as the game itself is if they keep doing trailers like this.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think there's a misstep. But I think there is some, I think it's valid to go, shit's kind of weird right now when everybody's streaming from their houses when they're doing these inside Xbox events, and people organizing this trailer are all doing it remotely from their houses and stuff. So there is some room there to go, yeah, it could have been better, but shit's kind of weird right now. But the fact of the matter is it's not that great of a trailer, and it feels almost meaningless. Especially after just getting that CGI trailer that I was impressed with, and gameplay's coming. I'm like, cool. I already got the CGI. That was good. Let's see that gameplay. Let's get a 10-minute fucking playthrough of an area or something like that. And we got that pretty much was just in-engine stuff, which is whatever. And then again, also at the prospect of like, we're going to see next gen gameplay. There was nothing in that trailer that went like, whoa, this is the future of gaming. I was just like, that's a shiny looking trailer, all pre-rendered.
Yeah.
You could do that on this gen. That could be the PC gameplay. I mean, like, I don't know. It was lame. Could have been better.
Yep.
But I'm not going into this game now going like, well, that trailer sucks. So I'm thinking about negatively. It's just, that trailer could just have not existed. In fact, I would prefer them just wait until they could have made a better one. So anything else you guys want to say? Let us know in the comments, what did you think of this gameplay trailer for Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What would you have preferred they did if you didn't like it? Would you have liked to just see straight up playthrough gameplay, someone talking you through as they play the game? Or would you like to see random clips of gameplay, a little more cinematic, maybe something similar to that, but actually mean something? Yeah, are you excited for Assassin's Creed Valhalla? And what are you most excited about? Do you like the Viking aesthetic? Let us know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. All right, so a lot has happened with The Last of Us Part 2 in the last like week and a half to 2 weeks. Leaks have come out. There's a lot of info out there that I have ran into, so I know a lot about this game that I don't want to know going into it. Hopefully you've been able to dodge that. In that time, they have released this story trailer, which will probably be weird for me to watch because I know a lot of things about this game now. Yeah, outside of a lot of some very valid complaints about Naughty Dog as a company, and also some really imaginative complaints that people are making up about the leaks, it's been nice to see that this official story trailer has been pretty well received outside of the people that have luckily not had anything leaked to them. So you guys haven't.
Correct.
Had anything leaked to you, which is great. I'm going to watch this and give my opinion without going into any of that stuff. So if you're worried about that, I'm not going to talk about it. But yeah, I just want to kind of put some context on me going into this trailer. There's a lot of info in my head on this that will definitely change the way I view this, as opposed to going into the game blindly, which sucks. It sucks. So yeah, anything you guys want to say before we watch this story trailer?
My only concern is because I haven't heard or read any of the leaks, but I have kind of heard whisperings of things, and one of the things I'm kind of concerned about is politics within the company bleeding into the game, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know anything, so I don't know.
I do.
That is a concern of mine.
Yeah.
But as long as there's good storytelling, I have zero complaints in that regard.
Well, the two things about this game, without going into that too much, is first off, it's going to play great. It's going to look great, no matter what. And Neil Druckmann is a very good writer and director. Though my opinions on him are starting to slowly change, which sucks, because like a week ago, I was talking him up. So it's literally been in a week. A lot has changed mentally for me when it comes to Naughty Dog as a company, but also Neil Druckmann. A lot of things have started to make sense to me. Looking at the turnover rate of the company being 70% since 2016. Now understanding why Bruce Straley, who was the co-writer of Last of Us. So Last of Us is really good. Neil Druckmann gets all the credit. Bruce Straley left. They're not even friends on Twitter. I checked. So that's weird. And then Amy Hennig, who directed Uncharted 3, I believe. I think Uncharted, she's done a bunch. She's been in the company for like 20 years. She left. I thought both these people left because they had like cool projects they wanted to do. They're stagnant. You're like, I've been working at Naughty Dog forever. I want to go do something else. Now I'm like, was there like a coup happening in that company? Now people are being overworked and shit like a lot. And these leaks, there's speculation on who leaked them. There's no way to actually know. It's weird, the whole situation is, but I will be picking this game up regardless because I owe everything the Naughty Dog's been doing for years that I've loved from them. I owe them to buy this game and play it and give my solid, just like play it through opinion on it. But I am kind of worried for the company because we've talked about this a million times. I know we haven't watched the trailer yet, but we've talked about this a million times. Companies kind of go, they hit a peak, they do fantastic, they're praised, and then they go down these downward spirals. Sometimes they get out of them, sometimes they don't, Konami. And yeah, it's always nice to see them come back. It's almost better when they come back because you appreciate that they tried. There's a lot of companies that I love right now that I hated for a while. And that I loved before. And so seeing the beginning of that with Naughty Dog kind of doing the Bethesda thing, that they're still in that fucking rut. BioWare still kind of doing that thing, is concerning for me. It sucks because Naughty Dog's one of my favorite developers, but I'm also a very, I don't know, reality-based person, and so it's easy for me to throw my bias out the window when I start seeing evidence of things that I'm like, I don't know if I like the way that company's being ran. So hopefully it doesn't affect this game too much, because as I've said a million times on the channel, Last of Us is one of my favorite games like ever made. So, and this is one of my top 3 most hyped games of the year, and now that hype it's more of a curiosity than a strong hype now, which sucks. It's crazy to have that feeling, because Final Fantasy 7's great. So at least the hype didn't nothing happened to that. And Cyberpunk is going to be fantastic. So unless something happens there, I don't know. Fucking this year is just weird, guys. Isn't it a weird year? Anything you want to say, Chris, before we launch this?
No.
Okay. Are you guys excited for Last of Us Part 2?
I think I am.
Yeah. I hope I am. God, I hope it's.
So far, everything I have seen has been great.
Yeah.
So.
Chris, hype level for Last of Us?
Pretty neutral.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, and go.
I know you wish things were different.
I already have chills. That's good.
I wish things were different. Ellie! But they ain't.
Please stop.
Man, this leak's fucked me up on this. That sucks.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
That's
Do
an
this
engine,
smart.
baby.
We'll be leaving Jackson vulnerable.
So they just get to get away with this?
How'd you find us?
You can't stop this.
I want what you want. But not at any cost. I really hope you make it.
I have to finish it.
That lighting's so good looking.
The game's gorgeous.
There's a
Yeah.
cost.
We could have killed you. Maybe you should have.
Whew. That got me emotional. Watching that. Whew. Thoughts?
It's a very well made trailer. I really
Yeah, Ubisoft.
I don't know. That game is so just like great looking. And it was very suspenseful, which I really appreciate, because obviously like it's a fucked up world they live in. I do appreciate like seeing some of that. Still seeing a lot of the clickers and stuff like that too, because like a lot of the promotional stuff for this game has been the people and against other people type of thing, which as survival games go ends up being like the biggest threat anyways.
Yep.
But
Where are the actual
part of the stress of Last of Us was sneaking around all the fucking monsters though. So I'm glad to see that it wasn't like just completely thrown off to the side or whatever. I do hope it is still a very large part of it, while still also driving a story about the characters. So, yeah. I mean, I don't really know what else to say other than like I did enjoy that trailer. Everything in it looked good. With no knowledge of the leaks and stuff like that, it just looked pretty normal to me as far as the trailer goes.
It is crazy how like I don't get that. I don't get to have that experience.
Yeah.
Because like going into that, I like know what's going on, but there is something at the very end of that trailer that seems like it's talking to me as a person who's seen the leaks. That I'm not going to talk about, but it almost is like acknowledging that I know stuff, and it's going, do you actually know? So that was kind of nice. Like right at the end, something happened. I was like, okay, interesting. Yeah, were you gonna say anything else?
No, that was it. I just speaking of the trailer, it was a great trailer. Like
Yeah.
it shows gameplay, it shows storytelling, music.
I really shouldn't put this next to the AC
Uh,
trailer.
this-
Same episode. Fucking, it's like, that's how you do a trailer. This
perfect-
isn't how you do a trailer.
Perfect timings with music and sound keys, with things
Oh, yeah.
happening on screen, with great cutting.
Good, grindy swell. Just fucking getting intense, yeah.
Yeah, and then nothing being like it wasn't that revealing. I mean, sure, if I watched it like 3 million times and started analyzing, I could probably start breaking stuff apart about it. But as a first time watch, it's how you make a trailer. So
Yeah, for sure. I'll jump in next. Already talked about that. I've seen the leaks. I'm a huge fan of Last of Us. The leaks was disappointing to see, even watching that and knowing context behind a lot of those scenes. But also getting some of what I know kind of thrown up in the air in that trailer. All that shit aside, I think it was a very good trailer. I think tonally it was great. It did renew some hype, which is nice. Even though my hype level's been damaged, it still went, hey, this is going to be probably fucking pretty good. And I'm like, yeah, that's a crazy, you got to make a good trailer if you could fucking try and like fix that. And they did a little bit watching that. I was like, shit. Yeah, I got to play this. Graphically, of course, it's amazing looking. The lighting was fantastic. Every scene that was dark with the light, like just the way it looked through, like, even like the dust in the air and shit, really fucking good looking. Acting is great. Even the scenes where, people weren't talking, there was so much emotion on these faces. It's crazy.
yeah.
Even when Ellie was sitting there, she was like in that red room with blood all over her face and shit. Really powerful, man. That was a really good scene, and she didn't say shit. Yeah, I don't know. It was a very good trailer. I really enjoyed it. I had chills the whole time watching it. Like, and just with the context of being a huge fan of like the last game, I've beaten like 8 times, loving these characters. I did have an emotional investment watching that trailer. So I'm glad it wasn't the Assassin's Creed trailer. It was good. It was good, and yeah, it's gotten me kind of hyped again for the game. So I'm stoked on that. I'll definitely be playing it. Yeah. And yeah, for anyone who knows leaks, please don't fucking say shit in the comments. I don't want to contribute to that. Even if you want to get Naughty Dog for whatever reason, just don't do it here.
Yeah, speaking of
do it all
the
over Twitter, man.
Did you see the ratio on that video? Pretty even.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another video with Neil Druckmann in it that had mostly dislikes, and people on Twitter, of course, were using that to fuel the war between everything, all the opinions. People need to fucking grab their flag and fucking defend their hill. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird situation, but the trailer was very good. I really liked it, and I'm really excited to play this game. I know at its core, it's gonna at least be a very fucking Troy Baker had a great thing he said recently. He was talking about, he's like, regardless of what you think about it going into it and all that stuff like that, he's like, people worked on this game for 6 years. He's like, you're gonna let a couple screenshots completely change your mind on that. He's like, this is Naughty Dog's most big and ambitious game they've ever made. They've been working on it for 6 years. He's like, all of these people have been working on it constantly. And he's like, a couple screenshots going to completely just destroy that for you. Like, he's like, it's a video game. You have to play it. Like, it's not a movie. It's a game. You have to experience it.
For sure.
And I was like, and he wasn't even being like hard on the people who were like upset for whatever reason. He wasn't even really talking to them. He's just saying like, you got to look at it from this perspective, man. This is a big fucking game. You're not getting the full context on everything. There's people I know personally that are like almost in denial over these fucking leaks. Like they're like, I don't think they're real. I'm like, they're real. Like they're real for sure. And so
Naughty Dog wouldn't have responded the way they did if they were fake.
well, there's a fucking hour and 40-minute video of major scenes on the internet. They're the fucking game. No one has the fucking manpower to make a fake like that. Like that's straight from the game. But so I like that his take on it was just like, hey, regardless of what you feel in this game, this is their biggest game they've ever made. They've made great games in the past. They've been working on this game for 6 years. It's a video game. You got to play it. The screenshots in the video you saw, those are just parts of a multi-houred game. So, and I was like, that's a good point. So,
For sure.
yeah. Anyway, enough about me fucking vaguely venting about this situation that's happened. Chris, thoughts?
Well, actually, I have quite a few actually for this one. So, not going into this super invested in the original game or the characters. I played it in passing, but I didn't really get super deep into it. But I think the word that best describes this trailer is intense, but personable. It's this really weird like crescendo of seeing the intensity of the world that these characters live in, but feeling really personable with this character in the trailer. In contradiction to all the harsh actions that she has to take, like just her, like even sitting on the bed with her back to us, you can see like the harshness of the reality she has to exist in. It just feels so picturesque and movie-like in quality. It was just so stunning, and the intensity of the stress was being transitioned so well that I was feeling the rise and the tension of everything that was happening, this culmination of events.
There's this anxiety from the beginning of the trailer that builds to the end of it, and it's a really well-designed trailer because it's consistent. By the end of it, you're just like, you almost gotta go, whew, okay, like you gotta like take a breath real quick because it just like goes, and like visually everything is just getting like more intense. So very well crafted trailer for sure.
Absolutely. And it has me hyped, but not in the sense of like, I'm so excited to play this. It's hyped in the fact that like, if I play this, I need to sit down and I need to be in the right state of being before I get into this game.
Don't make that game make whatever is going on in your real life fucking worse by like experiencing this shit. It's gonna be that intense.
I can just tell just from the scenes and just the way it was put together that the intensity of this game is going to be massive.
Yeah, regardless of everything, fucking that's definitely the tone they're going for. Every trailer kind of conveys that, and the story is definitely
Even the original trailer with the person with the, I assume they were cultists or whatever. Like I said, I don't know shit about what the other group of humans that wasn't the ones that you're familiar with.
Abby.
Eventually, killing that person, but like it was just a very intense trailer for their like announcement of the game. So like it's just been the memo the whole way. So
it really does feel like what the ultimate outcome of some sort of like zombie-esque apocalypse would come to, in that like in the long run, it's not the monsters that you have to worry about, but it's more focused on like the other people that you're trying to survive against. The zombies and the clickers are just kind of an afterthought. They're a constant state of just a natural cause of the world, but the other humans are the intense focus of what it feels like for this trailer.
Yeah, and that's like a super common trope in like post-apocalyptic like zombie stuff anyway, is that humans are always the real enemy or whatever. And I like that trope as well, but at the same time, there is an overall factor that was left up in the air in The Last of Us, where I'm gonna spoil Last of Us. If you haven't played it, skip 1 minute from here. Ellie is immune to the fucking, oh god, what are they called? Cordyceps, whatever the fuck it's called,
something like that.
The fungus, and they essentially want to use her as a way to create a cure for it. And so there was a chance at saving everything, or at least making things better in the last game. And so that's a huge thing going into this next one. That there already was a chance for that. There still could be. And so there is, unlike a lot of like zombie stuff where it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on, Walking Dead, and people just keep walking around, fucking killing zombies, shooting zombies in the head, fucking every shot, just headshot, and then running into bad people. This actually does have more going on than just like people do bad things in these situations, and so the writing is typically a lot better by Naughty Dog, but it still absolutely is a factor as well, because in this one you can tell from the trailers there is a lot of personable things happening that are causing people stress and what you can only assume to be revenge type thoughts, trying to get some kind of vengeance. So I mean, that whole trailer was just dark, gritty, a lot of blood and violence, and yeah. Anything else?
No. I mean, the game's coming out, what? I don't remember what month now.
Soon.
Yeah.
September?
One of
No.
those months in a year of some kind.
I wanted to say September as well, but
Fuck, I forgot at this point.
Maybe.
It's coming out like around the same time Ghost of Tsushima is.
I was going to say they're coming out within like a few weeks of each other, I think.
June 19th. So really soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's know in the comments, what do you guys think of the Last of Us Part 2 official story trailer? Did this trailer do it for you? Are you excited from this trailer? Not any other information that doesn't need to be discussed here. Please do that on Twitter. That's where the battlefield is, not here. I'll salute you on your way to that battle, soldier. Because Twitter is just a fucking battlefield. Are you excited for The Last of Us Part 2? Are you not excited for The Last of Us Part 2? Why or why not? And like I said, if it's leak based, don't tell us about them. Just be like, hey, yeah, the leaks fucking turned me off from it. What'd you think about this trailer, though? Was it a good trailer? Did you think it was really well done? And let us know everything you're thinking about when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2 in the comments below. It's that time of Tasty Cast where we read your guys' comments and we respond to them. And then we kind of go over the past week or so, what we talked about. And so if you want your comment to have a better chance on being on the show, make sure to type in #AskTLG or some kind of variant of that. It's just a #TLG something. You guys get creative, and I'm all for it. We got some comments from the last week or so that we're going to be going through real quick. And the first video was we played Uncharted 4 and Dirt Rally 2.0, which was Plus Club for April. Make sure to go back and check out that episode if you did not see it. And like I said, we talked about Dirt Rally 2.0 and Uncharted 4. And we got a comment from Bathrez1 who said, Dirt Rally 2.0, I played this for about 3 minutes before I got mad and quit. It was too much of a realistic simulation game. I kept spinning out and flopping around like a wet fish due to going too fast. Even when I slowed down to take corners, it's very pretty and looks well made, but this type of driving isn't for me. It's not fun, and as a plat hunter, I couldn't see myself playing this game, a game I have no interest in, for around 30 to 50 hours. Uncharted 4, a great looking game with massive graphical improvements and attention to detail, but to its core, it's just another Uncharted game. Well, duh, it's number 4. The parkour never interested me and got boring very quickly, even in 1, 2, and 3. Literally everything that can go wrong, a bridge breaking, a ledge crumbling apart, it always happened to Nathan, no one else, and it's obvious. I know it's a way to suddenly instill some sort of sense of danger or thrill, but it's awfully tiring and makes me sigh. Quick thing in response to that, though, there are parts in Uncharted 4 that they kind of make fun of some of those tropes. There's a part where Sam is up on a ledge, and he's like, oh, I'll help you get up here. And then you're climbing around, all of a sudden you're up there, and he looks over, and he's pushing a box to the ledge. He's like, oh. He's like, I thought you were going to need this. And then you just get over on your own. So they're kind of self-aware on that. So I kind of enjoy that charm, but I get where you're coming from on that. And then on the platinum grind, one thing I didn't like about some fights were massive bottlenecks. And if you didn't have full ammo, grenades, it must be difficulty, and the right weapon combos, you were basically fucked. I like that you put FKED, but I'm going to say it, fucked. I had to turn on aim assist at the end of chapter 20 because I only had one grenade and I needed a minimum of 2 to 3 to take out one armored machine gunner before the other 20 enemies that spawn at the same time. Don't get me fucking started on, we said it right there, enemies with infinite grenade spam and perfect throws, which has been kind of a common complaint in the Uncharted series. for a while is their kill boxes, although I do think they get better as the games have been out. Anything you guys want to say on Bathurst's comment?
I mean, not so much. I think there's a lot of valid comments in there, to be honest. The dirt thing is, as I think we said even in the video, it's definitely for a very specific taste. You have to be into it to want to play it. So
Yeah.
I get it.
Even over on Reddit, it was pretty. People weren't necessarily negative about dirt. Everyone just kind of recognized they wasn't for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very hyper specific.
Everybody's pretty much saying it looks great. I don't like playing it.
Yeah. And then with Uncharted
Which I'm
4,
sure Codemasters wants to hear that.
Here's, like you said, they're self-aware of it as well. But like, it is the 4th Uncharted game. Like, they can't deviate too much at that point. So there's a lot of things there that they kind of have to do.
Well, that Hollywood blockbuster feel, they're trying to get that.
For sure. And it's funny because then you turn on, you play Last of Us, which does have some of the same stuff in it as well. But you could see that they wanted to like kind of deviate from some of that stuff as well. But
Every Naughty Dog game as they go feels like it was self-aware of what they did in the last game and tries to change it.
for sure. So I mean, I completely understand the things you're saying in here too. I remember even in the first Uncharted game, like getting frustrated with the amount of grenades the enemies just constantly toss at you. So I mean, I 100% relate to that frustration as well. So yeah, I still think they're enjoyable games, but you know, every game has its flaws. And
A+, I love it. But I already kind of touched on it. I see where you're coming from, 100%. And some of those things are long-lasting complaints of the series. I look past them. I don't mind them so much. And I think they have gotten better from where they used to be. They used to be really annoying in like the first game, and the second game had some areas that I was like, this is annoying. Then you get past it, and I end up enjoying myself a lot. But definitely valid criticisms without you just going, this game fucking sucks, because some people just do that. And then, the Dirt, Rally 2.0, you're kind of echoing what I'm hearing a lot of people say. It's funny because, I'm so used to people who don't like a game personally, and they instantly just go, this game sucks. And I didn't hear that from anybody with Dirt Rally 2.0. It's just like people are very fair with it. They're like, I don't like playing it. It looks good though. I'm like, yeah, it does. It does look good. I'm surprised I liked it. Because, like, I see where everybody's coming from. Like, you're sliding all over the fucking place. I'm like, yeah, but I like that. Like, it's annoying for sure. But, like, once you get it down, you're like, I don't know. I'm okay with the punishment. But it's a slog for sure. Like, you got to fucking, you're at the mercy of it. So, yeah, I agree.
All valid comments. Can't argue with you.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Last of Us Part 2 leaks. Spoiler free. Tasty Tuesday. That's what this was, right? Yeah. We talked about Last of Us Part 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn 2 rumors to have co-op. And we got an Ask TLG from Keith that says, can we add Ori and the Will of the Wisps to the Game of the Month list? Now, I have reservations on giving you a hard answer on that because we have a thing that we started last year where we allow the community to pick a game to be the Game of the Month, and then we allow 2 runners-up to be added to our list. So I feel like it'd be kind of unfair for us to just allow someone. I mean, I don't even really allow anyone here unless they make a good case for it to just throw a game on the list without considering it. You know, there's some games recently. Cody was like, "Hey, we could add The Forest to that list." And I was like, Chevy's not going to be able to enjoy that game. And Game of the Month is like something that like you don't necessarily have to enjoy it, but like Plus Club, it's all like random. We might like it, we might hate it. The Game of the Month is more so like almost like a back burner catalog type thing. Sometimes we add newer games, but yeah. So even if Cody like recommends a game, sometimes I'm like, I'd love to play the fucking Forest, but that game is not a game that Chevy's gonna be sitting there fucking playing. I don't know if Chris would, but like it's a game with people in the fucking middle of the night. You can only see as far as your torch shows, crawling out of the woods literally to fucking come kill you, and then drag you off into a cave where you can only see with a fucking lighter. And there's like spider monsters and shit in there. Yeah, I mean, like, I love that stuff, but yeah, you're not gonna get a good discussion from Chevy because he's probably not going to play it. So all that being said, I will consider having a conversation with these 2 guys about adding that to the list, but you see where I'm coming from when it comes to just taking suggestions on what games to throw in there. But maybe I'll decide to throw it on there. So
yeah,
thoughts?
No, I would like to echo that. It is more of like that show is like the one show I would say is like kind of the
personal show, yeah.
Yeah. So we get an excuse to play something that we forgot to keep playing. So or reasons happened, you know. So and then we do, and I like the idea of it, have that opportunity at the end of the year for you guys to be part of that as well.
you guys
and
get to
obviously
pick.
we welcome you to be part of it every month, but can't expect you to go out and buy a game every month either. So
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I try and keep it to like the games we decide to play or whatever too, because like I just expect us to pick it up and play it. Even if there's a month where Chris is like, I don't want to pick that up. It's fine. That's the thing. But I know me and you are going to pick it up
Right.
regardless. And the conversation's still going to happen. But that's not, I can't expect everyone who watches to go pick up every fucking game every month. People don't got the money or the time or the want to do that every
100%.
second month. So that is definitely like, it's just an expectation that at the very least, I'm going to play the fucking game that month and you're going to hear my opinion on it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, every month, it seems that us three play every single game that's come up so far. So, but one thing I also want to say too is fucking put that towards the end of the year. Fucking if we haven't like played that on our own volition, which I do plan on playing this game anyway, put it on the community pick and it could win. And then if you get second or third place, it gets added to our list. And we've already played one game from that list of last year, so which was Jurassic Park Evolution. So. Chris, thoughts? Anything?
We don't play favorites here.
Fair. Let's see. Do I want to talk about that at all? Real quick, we got. I said this before too, but Minute Repeater or Minute Repeater said also in this video, if the leaks were leaked because of the person was really mistreated, destroying people's hype, including my own, to my opinion, isn't a factor at all. Just as with whistleblowers, I am butchering your fucking comment. I'm sorry. The regular channels probably failed, as they do most of the times, this person. So if this was the case, I'm not holding against this person, though I'm sure we won't hear the real story either way. Naughty Dog, Sony had it coming. This is in response to me essentially telling people that, leaking the game hurts Naughty Dog, hurts Sony, but it also hurts the fan base. And I was very staunch about how it was fucking stupid for them to do that because it just kind of ruins the hype for people. It ruins people's experience. It's got people fighting all over Twitter now. And I still kind of hold that as well. Back then, like a week ago, back in the old days, my opinion wasn't fully formed yet because I didn't know all the details. The more details I've found out, I'm still against the idea of ruining the experience for people. But if this person, if they are actually the leaker, I know Sony came out and said that whoever leaked it had nothing to do with Naughty Dog. We don't know if that's true or not. That's just what they're saying. But because PR matters. I'm still against the idea of leaking it and ruining the experience and getting everyone fighting right now. It just sucks. But if they were in fact being mistreated, there's better ways to make a YouTube video and go, hey, I work at Naughty Dog and shit there sucks. Here's reasons, all that stuff. That would have sucked too as well, but like that would have been a better route in my opinion. I agree with you. If they're being mistreated, Naughty Dog and Sony has something coming. That should not be happening. But I don't like the idea that they leaked it. You said as well that it destroyed your hype as well. So you were hyped for it, just like me. We know the leaks. I'm not happy about it, and I'm really not happy for. I can handle it, but a lot of people it sucks for. I've been talking with a lot of people, and fucking, they're excited for it. Now they're not at all, or they're like trying to convince themselves that those leaks are not real for some reason. Which is like psychological as fuck. I'm like, damn, people are in denial over fucking leaks. That's how much this game mattered to them. So yeah, I get where you're coming from. I completely agree up until the point that I will not condone the leaks. I get if they're being mistreated, it needs to be known. I think there's better routes that could have been taken.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about it already in that, but I agree. Mostly just in the aspect that the leaks mostly harm the consumer, I think. And
Neil Druckmann's fine. I mean, he's probably pissed, but
Yeah.
other than that, his game's still going to sell really well.
yeah, it's gonna do fine. So, there were probably other options, like even just like because I'm sure that's illegal as fuck what he did there. Anyways, maybe not necessarily illegal, but you're not keeping your job. Same thing. Strap a fucking camera on, record your day-to-day life at Naughty Dog. Release that, show the treatment firsthand.
Could even be just a vlog where you're like, hey, this is what I say. You take my, you believe me or not, but I get overworked there. Crunch is a big deal. 70% of people have left the company. Bunch of legends in the industry have left this company. People in the company are divided on where it's going as a company and what decisions were made with The Last of Us 2. My check got with fucking held when I wanted to leave. They said that I had to sign a waiver to not talk about the business practices here. Otherwise, they wouldn't give me my money, which is illegal as fuck. And yeah, I think you would have got traction anyway. Naughty Dog's a huge company. Last of Us is coming out soon. That would have fucking went viral anyway.
It'd be real easy to add like keywords and hashtags and stuff like that too to help give it traction. I mean, you can literally put Last of Us 2 leaks, Last of Us 2 gameplay, Last of Us 2 blah news, blah blah. You just keep adding all that stuff to it. It's gonna get searched for anyways. It's gonna pop up. You just put a thumbnail on there. Make it clickbaity. Like that's fine in this regard. Like
yeah.
So.
As long as they showed some kind of credential that they worked there for sure and they said their piece, it would have got traction. Easy.
Yeah.
Chris, thoughts?
Well, it's hard for me to have any kind of hard opinions one way or another because I have not been following this story and I don't know a lot of the details other than what you just literally explained. Leaks suck. I can understand where the power comes from trying to use that against the company. And it's such a delicate, sticky situation to navigate through, trying to break it down for me and discuss it in this way, because I don't want to, discredit the person for any kind of hardships that they are trying to overcome in this scenario. But like you said, it does suck for anybody who has seen the leaks, and it was really hyped about this game. I don't want to sound so insensitive, but you also have the option of just not looking at the leaks. But like I said, the information is a power in these kind of situations. It can be used against Naughty Dog. Like, okay, well, I'm going to leak all your shit. And you have the potential of losing all your customers because no one's going to buy this anymore because they know what's going to happen.
Well, and I already said this, and it's just a fucking fact. This game is going to sell well regardless. But if this game comes out and it's not well received by a lot of people, this will be damaging. It already has damaged their reputation. It already has put an idea in people on how they think about Naughty Dog regardless before the game's even out. And so these leaks did damage Naughty Dog to a certain degree. There are people out there calling for Sony to fire Neil Druckmann, which would never happen. He's done way too much for fucking Sony as a company in the games that he's been responsible for. But it will damage the company. It's already damaged the way people look at him. It's not going to damage their finances, but it could be the beginning of something to happen later to the company.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Right. I don't know. It's just hard for me to have a really strong opinion about one thing or another because I don't know enough of the information, to be honest.
Well, and all the information that I know is a lot of hearsay with evidence based off of a lot of things that have happened. Right. And if you start putting things together, it starts going, oh, shit. That kind of makes sense. But as for like who the leaker is, Sony's saying it's not someone at Naughty Dog. People saying it is someone at Naughty Dog. No way to actually fucking know.
We'll never know for real. I mean, people could come up and say, well, it was me, but how do we really know that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just out there. Somebody said it was like a girlfriend of somebody who worked there. I don't know, but all I know is they had access to an hour and 40 minutes of the actual game, and it's all key big parts of the game, huge parts of the game. Every major storyline plot pretty much is in that fucking video, which... And I don't know. They had access to all that, and they decided to put those scenes in there. That seems pretty vengeful to me. To be like, I'm going to show people all the main parts of the game. That seems pretty planned. And so if you're just like some, girlfriend of somebody who works there, boyfriend of someone who works there, I don't feel like you'd be as precise in that video as that person was. So I don't know. But yeah, it does suck that it ruined people, ruin people's perception of the game and whatever. But also at the same time, if the game does end up sucking, it actually helped people. So it's kind of a weird situation because if I know it's a weird way to even fathom the game could just suck, but if it did, there's a bunch of people who are going to save money and not give a company that potentially might be a company they might hate in the future. It allows them an opportunity to not support them. Yeah. So if the game comes out and is great, people are like, you know what's wrong? Those leaks didn't ruin it. This game's fantastic. A lot of those people are going to go buy it.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But if it's badly received by a lot of people and people already didn't buy it, they didn't already give the money, they stopped their pre-orders, it will be damaging. So, like you said, it's delicate for sure. Mm. Yeah. Anything else? Mm-mm. All right, moving to the next episode. Thank you, everybody, for your comments so far. We got 2 more episodes left. This will be a quick one. Game of the month. Last month, we played Jurassic World Evolution. We talked about our opinions on it. Make sure to watch that to find out what we thought of it. And this is more so like a milk carton trying to find somebody. Keith said, "I'm curious to see Jeremy's grade, ... question mark." He's referring to that we graded Jurassic World Evolution, and Jeremy, a community member of this community, was a very staunch proponent of Jurassic World Evolution. I think he's the one who introduced it to the community pick last year, and he's had a lot of great things to say about it before any of us played it, and he's been gone lately. And I'm also curious about Jeremy's grade.
Yeah.
I'd love to know it. So, Jeremy, if you're watching this, let us know your grade for Jurassic World Evolution.
Yeah. I know I don't want to talk too much for Jeremy, but he had some things happen in his personal life that makes consuming content more difficult.
Sure. So, and that's not something we should be discussing here.
Yeah.
Chris, any thoughts? Do you want to hear his grade?
I do. I'm just curious. It's like he was in my stream the other day. I saw him.
Yeah, I'm seeing blips of him, man. He's like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I see him pass by, say something. I'm like, he's in a couple of my streams. Popped in, talked to me. I'm like, the fuck you been? We played that game you fucking had us play. And you're just like, yeah, they played it. Fuck them. God, he might hate that game. It's like, ha, got him to play it. You want to know what I think? I'm not telling you. So yeah, thank you for the comment, Keith. Is there something else you want to say, Chris?
No.
Okay. And then lastly, I did a video, I think it was a Tasty Tuesday, where I talked about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the first trailer, and a new Lord of the Rings game that you play as Gollum. It's a stealth game. That's
fitting.
Yeah. I don't like the way it looks, though. And yeah, so we got a comment. I'm looking for it. We got 2 of them I want to respond to. First one is from Simon. 2 questions, Randall. He says, I so want a good, well-written, well-designed, AAA level Lord of the Rings Silmarillion game. Something that explores the time of the Valar of Morgoth and how the corrupted Sauron, how he's corrupted Sauron. I want to see God, you got all these words. I'm going to get people pissed at me for not saying correctly because I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings guy, but I like it. Angband, Tolan, Garhoth, want to see Ungoliant, Anklagon, the Black, Glorung, and all. Want to see Hrun, the Hardarim, Kond, and all that shit. Just all that shit. Yeah, everybody knows. Granted, it's a ton of lore to enact and even finish, but could be a game series to do it. I don't want to play as fucking Gollum, man. But that'll never happen, and I'm just daydreaming. I'll take a look at Valhalla at launch, I guess. I read this, and I thought it was a very well...
Perfect ending.
It was a good response to that Gollum trailer.
Perfect ending.
And I read this, and I was like, I don't know half the shit you just said.
I don't know either.
I feel the exact same way. I looked at the Gollum trailer, and I was like, there's all this fucking Lord of the Rings, and we're playing a stealth Gollum game.
It's kind of weird too because they have made like a bunch of like good Lord of the Rings games, so I'm like confused. I didn't see the trailer, so I don't know.
He's naming all that stuff. I'm like, dude, yeah, make something about all that. People play the fuck out of that. Dude, Lord of the Rings is such an established brand. You don't even have to make something that's directly connected with, the movies or the books, but something that's part of the greater lore. And it says Lord of the Rings on it, blah, blah. People are going to fucking play it.
This is a big problem I have anyways when it comes to Lord of the Rings, and even to tie in things like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. There's just so much there. There's no excuse to make bad things.
Sure.
And
Sure.
And they do it all the time. All the time.
Tell the guys who made the trailer of the Assassin's Creed.
Because like video game movies, they don't give a fuck. So
Yeah. I'd love to see a more extended and deeper Lord of the Rings game that was fun to play, but explored something in that lore that you could only get from knowing the lore and reading the books and stuff like that. That'd be neat.
or gain experience.
Silmarillion's pretty deep in lore too. I mean, that's just that. Oof.
Well, and just to experience it for someone who doesn't necessarily want to read. I have, a little bit of history. And I'm not even going to say I know a lot about Lord of the Rings.
Or
but
pronounce some of them
yeah,
names.
I read the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings books, and I've consumed the movies, obviously. I would prefer to consume that media in video or video game format.
They make great games for sure.
Yeah. The books are they're great information. I just don't think they're fun books. So The Hobbit's actually a really fun book.
Wikipedia, it's great information.
Let me correct myself. The Hobbit was a fun read, but Lord of the Rings was it's okay. It was wonderful to see it brought to life for
you
me.
got people clutching their pearls around like,
It's fine.
What?
I don't have to agree with those people. So but it is hard to deny that
you gotta pay the iron price for saying
the
this.
information that is given there allows for amazing things to be made if they would do it. So and they don't.
Yeah.
So
We might get some of that deep lore with Gollum fucking creep around with his smooth ass head.
we all know Gollum's story though.
You're gonna see
Gets
it
the ring, he
firsthand.
hides in the cave.
There was a screenshot of his face and it had all these BioWare style fucking decisions and dialogue, but it's to himself. And I'm like, I don't want to sit here and fucking talk to myself. That almost seems like a joke. He's laughing. I mean, fucking. I was looking. I was like, is this a meme?
It's like that D&D game that's coming out. I'm super excited that they're making one, but then they did that weird ass trailer with the cameras attached to their weapons and stuff. I was like, why? Why are you doing
That
this?
was like that tech you see a lot of times when it comes to guns and Call of Duty. The camera's on the fucking gun, so
Yeah.
you're seeing this weird. And I think it's neat looking as someone who's into cinematography, but when they're swinging swords and shit, and it's you're watching the fucking camera fly around from their weapons, stuff like that. I'm like, totally, this doesn't fit.
It's weird.
A
Why'd you pick
fantasy world? I want to hear grand music and fucking epic sweeping cinematography and cool fucking swordplay and shit. That's more fantasy for me, not this playing Sabotage by Beastie Boys fucking and fucking there's fucking swinging around shit. That's not.
Oh, hey, we're finally making a Lord of the Rings game.
D&D.
Or not Lord of the Rings, D&D game. Here's the trailer. Why?
Yeah,
At least Baldur's Gate 3 looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's true.
Sorry, I deviate a little bit there, but Lord of the Rings and
Chris thought to
D&D
say something about Smoothhead Gollum.
Like you guys said, there is a lot of lore that they could dive into to get kind of the more interesting tidbits of Lord of the Rings. This could just be them dipping their toe into that, though, doing the safety bit of everybody knows Gollum as kind of this piteous villain, but not a villain, but still a villain type character. It's just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? The victim of the ring. And it'd be nice for them to explain a little deeper the story behind how he got the ring and what happened to him, leading up to him being the creature that we know of as Gollum. But it would be more intriguing, I think, like you said, to see how Sauron became corrupted and all the backstory. But I think it would be something they would do a little bit in reverse and tell the story backwards. It would be the best way for people to get into it, because it's a lot of information and a lot of this person did this to this person and there's this
a whole
person
world
in front of this, and they all kind of interject into these lines. I think it would be too much for someone who's not really into the Silmarillion. So I think this could lead into more Lord of the Rings games if it's well received, if it's done well. But I agree. I don't really want to play a game where I'm just kind of sneaking around with Gollum all the time.
It reminds me of that Styx game where you play as that little goblin orc
Yeah.
guy. I was like, so you're just making Sticks AAA? Not made by like Focus Entertainment, wherever that French company is.
I'm pretty sure it was Focus. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do I know that? I played it.
Here, I got a better idea for a stealth Lord of the Rings game for you. Why don't you play as Frodo and like make the literal journey?
That'd be fucking
Or
sick.
Aragorn's story is becoming the backwards story of him being Strider and living with the elves and all that stuff, and the story of him becoming who he is in the end.
These are both games I
He's
would
a
definitely
ranger.
play. But if we're playing like a stealth game, I think Frodo would be a much better story because you could kind of have the whole chronicle of the story play out from his perspective.
And he still can technically fight. He's just not good at it.
People are going to be less inclined to want to play this though because it's not sword and board action
For sure.
which is what I would want too. I want to shoot a fucking bow, I want to swing a sword, I want to block fucking stuff, I want to fight Uruk-hai, I want to do all that shit.
Just let me be Gimli, chug a bunch of fucking ale, and go swinging my axe at bitches.
But if I'm like exploring Lord of the Rings and I'm just like smooth baby fucking what's Tater's precious fucking creeping around, there's nothing about that I'm like, oh damn, yeah, I want to play that. I'm just like, why him? We already saw
He's in every game.
he fucking flies into the volcano. Who cares? His story's interesting, but the interesting
And
part of
tragic,
it,
for sure.
the interesting part of it's earlier on.
Yeah.
Than when he's sneaking around as fucking Gollum.
Right,
That point's just the end result. You're like, that guy's fucking nuts.
Trying to eat Bilbo at one point. Like,
Yeah. Well, who wouldn't try and eat Bilbo? That's a thick boy.
he
The
meaty.
event of him becoming Smeagol, or being Smeagol, and leading up to him becoming Gollum and finding losing the ring to Bilbo would make an interesting game.
They can make an interesting movie. I don't know what the gameplay would be of him being corrupted, but yeah, that story is more interesting. But and I do think this actually is earlier on than the end result of like Lord of the Rings in the story. But he's still, if you look at the pictures, he's still just like that. What's Tater's precious baby? Balding.
Does it take place before The Hobbit or between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings?
I don't remember, but it's before Lord of the Rings. So because he's like sneaking around Mordor and shit in the pictures.
Regardless of gameplay wise, like,
And that's the point. Is
Yeah.
like I love stealth games too, but there's nothing about Gollum that makes me want to go. Like he's not going to be doing the splits in a hallway above a dude with a machine gun walking by and dropping down and fucking taking him out. I'm into that. Give me that fucking game.
What if
he's
he
not
is-
kicking fucking doors in with a pistol like John Wick and go doo, 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 and then like fucking taking dudes out and then sneaking off into a vent. That's my kind of stealth game. I love that shit. He's not Solid Snake. Let's just be real. He's not Big Boss. These are fucking bad motherfuckers. I want to play that stealth game. Gollum? I think Styx is more interesting as a fucking stealth boy than Gollum. I'd rather play, there should be a fucking like text-based game where Gollum, you just have conversation with yourself. That's the whole fucking game. Find out what happens at the end.
I hope this game is actually good.
It might be awesome.
I would love to have looked back and went, man, I was being a dick for no reason.
Sure, I
mean,
love being wrong on that kind of
Yeah.
shit.
It could be an interesting stealth survival game.
We'll see.
Oh, he survives. He's fine.
Chewing on orc ears while they're sleeping.
That's the thing, though.
Fishing and-
Gollum will kill somebody, though.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so, like, but he's not powerful. But maybe deception will play a part in it. Maybe
Right.
you'll be able to like have these dialogue trees with people and deceive them and like
The
sabotage
riddles.
them.
The
That'd be
riddles.
interesting.
So he tried doing it to Bilbo in The Hobbit.
Yeah,
so,
that'd be
like,
interesting. He does it with fucking Fardo and Sham.
yeah.
Whole time he's just fucking making up shit with them, and they're like, "What the fuck's up?" Sham the whole time he's like, "What the fuck's up with your boy Fardo?" And he's like, "Leave him alone." He's like, "Bro, you've changed.
Look, we share a bond that you just can't
You
understand.
just met this bald kid, and now you fucking all of a sudden leave that guy alone." He's talking about, he gets weird about fucking potatoes.
You don't know
way
how
too
we
much.
grew up. Dude,
Potatoes
I grew up
precious,
down
not
the
that
street
precious.
from you. I know how you grew up.
I'm a goddamn gardener.
Potatoes grow on the ground. They're not precious at all. That shit's fucking common.
Your comment did this, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, he's probably enjoying himself. Like, they aren't talking about this shit anymore. Anything else you guys want to say on that?
Nah, just a good comment.
It's a great comment.
And I 100% appreciate the feeling of the comment because it's kind of how I think a lot of us feel. Anyways, yeah, Valhalla will probably be all right.
Yeah. So thank you for the comment. We got minute repeater again, or minute repeater. Let me know how you pronounce it. Saying, I'm extremely disappointed in mainly focuses on the boring, corny Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, referring to Assassin's Creed, like most of the Viking-themed entertainment out there does. Britain is, or in general, as a story location, I find boring and hardly refreshing. The Vikings visited way more places than boring England. From what I've seen, read about the game, it's checking all the predictable boxes when it comes to safe choices. Also, the way he yelled out, if you can call it yelling, Odin is with us, wasn't very convincing. Cosmetic wise, they don't look authentic Viking at all. Although, just real quick, I like the armors. We actually talked about that on the episode that got scrapped. We all thought the armor looked pretty cool. It's very fantasy looking. I think Chris actually said it looked kind of like elven or elvish looking. And so I like it aesthetically, but I agree with you. It doesn't look authentic, but I like the way it looks. So yeah, I'm kind of like, I get where you're coming from. But at the same time, I also like the way it looks. But yeah, it's not authentic. Though I can see through this if
the outfits look awesome.
If outfits at least look awesome, I'm all for Assassin's Creed in Japan, but also only with Shinobi in the lead. Which yeah, I agree. I mean, we talked about that Assassin's Creed in Japan, which just makes sense. But I will give it a go. Though I seriously hope they tone down the BS microtransactions. Needing a premium account for single-player game is ridiculous. Is Bethesda Sewage Studios Unicronic Arts level of shenanigans. I also found it odd the male shown in the trailer looked like Ragnar Lothbrok from Vikings. They all do, man. They're so uncreative when it comes to what Vikings look like. And on the ships, I saw an NPC who also had an uncanny resemblance to Bjorn Ironside from the same show. I'm not jumping onto the hype train. Really need to see more of the game. That last statement, I think we're all going to agree with you on.
Yeah.
To different degrees. I do agree with you that, though, if you're going to do Vikings, going the Anglo-Saxon route makes sense. It's expected. It's when you think of Vikings for the typical person, that's what you're thinking of. But yeah, Vikings were all over the fucking place. You don't even, and it wouldn't be that much of a deviation, but the Vikings went all over the world. You never see them in France. They were invading France constantly. If you know anything about Normandy. And yeah, I mean, there's evidence of them coming to the Americas a long time ago. That'd be interesting to kind of even speculate on what happened with that adventure in a game. I think that'd be kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They are going with the safe route, but safe is safe money-wise. So it's going to work. People who are expecting this expected quintessential Viking experience are gonna have their needs met and they'll be happy, and they're not gonna go, I thought you said Vikings, why the fuck are they here? I've never seen this or heard of this before. I've never read about Vikings. I just like the helmets and the axes and fighting war and shit. So yeah, it's a good point. And then I'm glad you agree with us with the Japanese thing. I think Assassin's Creed in any Asian country would be neat, but Japan just makes the most sense given the history and the mythology of Japan. Yeah. And ninja, shinobi, samurai, all that shit would be really fucking cool to have the Assassin's Creed flair, and just makes sense. Like if you were a ninja and you had a hidden blade, that's not even an Assassin's Creed thing at that point. That's just something you'd expect from a ninja. So, and stealth and all that shit, you can still keep it as an RPG the way that they've been doing it. It would be awesome. It'd be cool. It'd be a cool change of fucking scenery, man. It doesn't all have to be like the European castles. They're awesome. I love history. I get it. I'm with you guys. But I think most people agree on this at this point. But getting those old style Japanese fucking castles and shit and running around Assassin's Creed style and that be fucking awesome. And then the rest of it, astute observations on that trailer. I agree with you when it comes to people looking like characters from Vikings. Everything. When Vikings is a show, and I hear it's good. I haven't seen it. When it came out, it looked so generic to me. It's like if I was like, hey, what does a Viking look like? Every character in that's what I would expect the average person to tell me. And so, the game doing that as well makes complete sense. One of my biggest gripes with anything Viking is the lack of deviating from what's expected a Viking should be and look like. And obviously it was a time and place and people, but everything that has to do with Vikings is just like every Viking was the exact same person. The exact same person, looked the same, act the same. It's almost like there was like almost no culture to these people. So it gets boring for me because there's not a whole lot that people really dive into when it comes to Viking stuff. In fact, I think God of War did the most interesting stuff when it comes to anything that could be remotely related to like Viking stuff, and that's mythology. So
Well, and they unfortunately went full mythology with
because the brand allows for that.
Yeah.
But that's like the most exciting shit I've seen with anything that has to do with like Scandinavian stuff.
Yeah, and then because it had the God of War twist on it too, which was great. So.
Yeah. But like anytime there's like a Viking game, I'm just like, you're just gonna be a blonde dude with a beard, blue eyes, you're gonna have an axe with some fur on you. You're gonna be on boats. You're gonna fucking just wreck people.
You're gonna froth at the mouth and be.
Yeah, which is fine because that's all shit that actually happened for sure. But there's way more to it. When you look into Viking stuff, there's like whole rituals and cultural stuff that's really interesting. The way they viewed, people in society, like in this weird equal way, like weird for that time, is interesting. There's all sorts of shit to that you just don't see. Maybe this game will. We saw in the trailer, it shows like him back at home with everybody, and that's something you don't really see very often. It's typically just being on a boat and killing people. Yeah, anyway, I could just go on. I agree with you.
Yeah, and I really can't add anything.
Yeah, I forgot we're having a conversation. I was just kind of puking up fucking yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Them fighting the English, it could just be the base of the game, and it could, if received well enough, they could add like a DLC where you go to different areas. That could just be like this whole launching point for the game.
Well, knowing Ubisoft, they might just give you the whole fucking globe to goddamn do quests on.
Possible. But I mean, yeah, I agree. It's just the cut and paste so far of what you think of Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we'll have to see more, even more, to see if there's any variation to it. But so far, it's got that aesthetic of what you would expect a cliche Viking to be. But then when we saw the CGI trailer, it really shows that duality nature of them being, these aggressive attackers, but also having like this home life that's completely opposite of where they are on the battlefield. So that is something that they don't really show too much in Viking games. So it's nice to see that juxtaposition, but we'll just have to see more.
Yeah. Hopefully the next trailer for the game won't be 30 seconds long and it's just in-game feet walking in the mud and then some eyes and then it shows like just an axe swing and it goes whooshink and it goes Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's like, why are you going in reverse? Why are you showing less? Why are you trying to lower my hype with every trailer?
It's going to end with a black screen with some sound effects in the background and slowly fade in the title. And then the date will slowly fade in afterwards. That'll be the whole trailer.
Yeah, it's going to be a black screen. You're going to see some like fucking smoke rising in front of the black. And you fucking hear people fighting and shit. That's all you're going to hear. And it's going to go and fucking it's just going to have the goddamn logo.
THX.
Just full 3D sound. It's like, okay, is that in engine? What are you trying to tell me here, man? Am I supposed to be excited for the audio? The fuck, man? Where's the game at? Is there a game? Is it real? What are you hiding? Like, okay, I'm sorry, but fucking Jean Vincent fucking deleted the game. What do you mean deleted the game? He fucking clicked deleted the whole fucking thing. We don't have a backup. It's gone. It's gone, dude. Well, what do? We have to make the game from fucking scratch. Yeah, we got to make this game, dude. What do we show them? We got footage from when we recorded some shit earlier. Like, yeah, show them that, I guess. Fucking show them some of the audio. We still got assets from that. That's a conspiracy theory I just put into the world. The game doesn't exist. They're trying to make it right now. Someone
get this man some tinfoil.
I got some in the kitchen. It's right over there. So yeah, anything else, Chris?
No, just wait and see. We'll wait and see. It's a little early to be too harsh of it.
That should be the name of this Assassin's Creed. Wait and see.
Ugh.
Assassin's Creed. Wait and see. Thank you for the comment. And that's it. That's it. Thanks for comments, guys. That's all the episodes.
Goodbye.
So yeah, I want to thank everybody for commenting. Make sure, again, type in hashtag AskTLG if you want your comment to be read on the show and responded. Hopefully we don't just read it and go, okay, next question. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to say before we wrap this up? It's been a long one.
It has been a long one. No, I mean,
Keith with his sad faces every time the episode's like less than 30 minutes, it's like, oh man. And it's less than like 3 hours, it's like, oh man, which I appreciate because we run long on this fucking show. Every once in a while I try to make the shorter shows, and I'm always like, people are going to fucking be happy that the episode's shorter, and people like them long ones, so.
yeah. Now, the only thing I really was going to say was, hopefully it's enjoyable for you guys. I the most fun part of it, at least for me, was actually the comment section this time, because we got to just kind of go on.
Should be low key just going. We just wasted so much time this episode, so thank you for entertaining me.
Totally not it, but
Been sitting here for 2.5 hours.
realistically,
fucking bored.
we did do trailers for games that I probably won't personally play, though I'm hopeful to play. But realistically, one I'll probably not buy, and the other one I'll watch Seth play. So,
With that said, as always, thank you for watching Tastecast episode 115, right?
Yep.
That's where we're at. That's going to do it for this episode of Tastecast episode 115. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out our streams, links down below. You can watch us on a bunch of random shit, doing a bunch of random shit. We got a Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, on the podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. And there's Patreon link down below. You can check that out if you want to. Yeah, you threw me the fuck off with that like borderline apology. I want to.
no, I was just saying it was fun. I like the comment section.
Comments are always appreciated. It's fun. I'm glad we do this segment. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Till next episode, which will be Tuesday for Taste Tuesday. Have a good weekend, guys, and take it easy and play Hunt fucking Showdown.